Hello, hello, hello. Hi, chat mama. Glad you're here. Probably just us right now. Because everybody and their brother's probably live right now. I tried to go later, hoping we wouldn't coincide. But, well, the lighting in here sucks so bad. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Man, it's so bad in here. I thought my living room was bad. It's bad in here. Can't get my glasses to not shine. How are you doing? We were in the same chat earlier, so because I was like, I jumped into Dusty and I was like, he doesn't have any mods. I'll go and help, but he didn't need me. I was looking out for that crazy person that's been hounding him lately. Hey, Eric. That's good. That's good. Yeah, it's just been really kind of just down about how my channel's been going. Is all just not getting out there. Hey, Lori Marie, glad you're here. Coming on Friday nights has not been the same as Saturday nights. I've noticed. I think you have two things going. You have a lot of people on the West Coast that are live, which is like 8:30 for them. And then you've got it's Friday night, people are tired. They just got home from work and don't want to go on YouTube. Yeah, I know. I just didn't think the job would interfere with my channel this much. And what it is, I've said there's all these other things going on, but the biggest issue is my sleep schedule. And I have to leave my house at least by noon, no later than 1 o'clock, to go. And so that gets me there about 2:30 to 4:30, because coming home at 6:30 is so bad. Plus, the traffic on the street too. And so my sleeps, if I don't get up by 11 or so, I'm not going to bed till after daylight, like 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's just all week. So what I'm going to try this week, when I get home on Monday morning after my weekend, I think I was gone for a second, and the signal in here sucks. Hey, Aaron. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad everybody's here. I really wasn't sure if I'd get anybody. Um, what was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, my sleep schedule. Because my sleep schedule is so bad. If I'm sleeping during the day, I can't go protest. It's driving me nuts. And every day I plan to go protest, I can't get on the right sleep schedule to go. I'll set alarms and I sleep right through them. Hey, David. Good you're here. Good to see you. So I just been kind of down, a little stressed about the channel and what I'm supposed to be doing. So I found out that the place I used to get my posters laminated, I thought it was closed. I drove by and there was a for lease sign. But I looked yesterday or last night and it's still showing open, and I called it and there was a recording that says we're closed right now. So maybe I'm thinking they just moved. So after I get off here tonight, I'm going to go in there and make a bunch of signs, and I'm going to go get them laminated tomorrow in my town. And I've already planned, if I'm still awake early in the morning, that I wanted to go back to that strip mall in Cedar Park where we found the pamphlets. And a Saturday is a good day to go there because it's a big outdoor mall. And there's a road that goes right between it where I could stand. So I'm thinking about trying that. But I need different signs for that location, not what I have now. I want to have a list of their crimes or lawsuits in motion right now to get people's attention. Because it's a different, type of people I'll be dealing with. Yeah. Because if it was a weekday, I am going to go to my county courthouse on a weekday. I've thought about doing, because I can get to, you know, other eyeballs, different town, and maybe some judges or some lawyers that might be interested. If they see Scientology crimes, they might be interested. So these are things I've been throwing around in my brain because classes are out. And so the traffic on at the org isn't going to be as big. I still want to go there just enough so that they know I'm still going and they can see me. And, you know, there's still people that walk by. We get tourists, we get, you know, there's still students, some students there that didn't go home or are doing those summer classes. Yeah, I'm trying, because every day that I plan to go, something happens. And it's been a couple months now, and I didn't think this job working Saturday night and Sunday night was going to ruin everything. I'm not doing my readings anymore. I'm not doing my Saturday night anymore, and I haven't been protesting. So if I'm awake during the day, I'm dead dog tired. I almost didn't come on tonight. I put it on, and then like an hour later, I was like, I'm tired. But I came on. Because once I get out of the house, wherever I'm going, I'm fine. It's getting out of the freaking house. That's the problem. And then, you know, once I'm on, I'm on. Yeah, well, the problem is the protesting part, you have to do it in a certain window. You know, if I could go protest at 2 o'clock in the morning, that'd be great. But that doesn't work. That's the part that's really stressing me because, you know, last summer when it was freaking hot as crap, I was going 3 days a week. I was doing it. Yeah, I know. I'm like 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, if I went on, ooh, I just had an idea. I can do that. So they closed off 6th Street in Austin on the weekend. I could go down there about this time on a Friday night and put my signs out because it's packed. People, they close it off to car traffic, so people can walk up and down 6th Street. Have you guys ever seen what 6th Street? So Austin is considered the music capital of the world because indie bands, new bands, there's so many live venues here. It's a lot like Nashville. It's a lot like Nashville, 6th Street, Austin. Let me get a picture of it so you guys can kind of see. It's a lot like Bourbon Street in a way. Let's see. I want to find. Here's the crowd, but I wanted to show you like the venues and stuff. Oops. Let me show you real quick. Hey, Rochelle, how are you? Good to have you here. Okay, let's see. So I can't see the screen, but this is what it looks like on the weekend. And the whole street is closed to, oh man, I wish I had thought about this sooner. Here's a good picture of all of the bars up and down 6. And this is only 1 or 2 blocks that they're showing right there. But we went down there one night and here's in daylight. So that's an idea. Are you guys stalking each other, Rochelle and Chat Mama? I've been in a lot of lives this week, but I haven't felt like chatting. I pop in for a little while and see what's going on, and I go. I just haven't felt like it. Kind of, I don't want to say I'm depressed. Oh, yeah. I was in there too. I jumped into Aaron, but then I jumped over. I saw Dusty was there. And Dusty doesn't get to go there on Fridays very often. So I jumped into Dusty there. But I had them both. I didn't realize. I know. I didn't realize I still had Aaron on in a different tab. And so I heard Aaron talking with Dusty talking. And I just thought Aaron was standing real close to Dusty. And it was fine. It didn't like, you just heard them both. And so it worked. I realized I still had him on the other tab. And I went in and I hit the, it did get a little confusing. So I hit the mute button over there. But and I watched a little bit of the video where they were in the bar with Brooks and all the stuff about the garden. That was cool. But I haven't really kept up with much else lately. Yeah, I find it hard. Hey, sure. I know. I get you Saturday nights, but not always on Fridays. What's up, girl? I'm secretly jealous of you because you have what I've always wanted, the farm and all the animals and all that kind of stuff. Oh man, if I would have had Pinterest and YouTube and the internet when I was in my 20s, we would have been homesteaders. But I didn't find it till we was too old to do it. I watch on my phone and TV. Yeah, I've done that before too. Before I had the computer, I had the Fire, the Kindle Fire. I had two of those and on my phone. And the thing about the Kindle is you couldn't chat. So I'd have to have, if there was two people on together, I'd have them on and I'd chat. I have 81 pet calls between today and Monday. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Pet calls. What's that about? That's a lot of whatever it is. I don't know what that means. I know so I got to tell you about my husband and hog hunting. We had a conversation yesterday about it. But that man, 6th Street. Oh, it's kind of like Vegas. Pet sitting. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So you have to go to their houses because I've had somebody pet sit for me. And wow. And I thought about when for a year and a half, we moved out and I lived in this apartment complex. And I thought about doing that for other people in the apartment complex. But we didn't, because my daughter moved into this house because her rental history sucked. And it was actually a really bad idea between the cost of moving and all that. It ended up costing us money. Yeah, 81 in 3 or 4 days. Plus, aren't you out in the boondocks? Sounds like a lot of driving. Oh, okay. Not all on you. Okay, good. All right. I'm sorry. There's people that don't have chat up. I need to remember that. So, Cher was saying she has 81 pet sitting calls between now and Monday. Dang, that's a lot. I can see why you're still up. Because you're an hour later than me. Wow, geez. Yeah, you know what? The 6th Street idea, I can't do it on Saturday because I'm at work. And it's not closed off during the week. Although, I think the bars are still open. But Friday night, I could do that instead of this. I could go up there freaking at midnight if I wanted. Ooh, I got an idea. Ooh, I got an idea. Ooh. Didn't even think about it. Oh. I know how that is. That was happening to me yesterday. All right. Do whatever you got to do. So what happened was my husband, me too. my stepdad was a chauvinist. He was a good guy, but he didn't think girls should go hunt. He never did the stuff with me that he did with my stepbrothers. And hey, Hammy, how are you? I haven't done anything with that website, so with this job, and I was talking about it earlier. Just I'm getting really kind of down and out about not being able to be on top of stuff. But I'll get with you here soon because I really at least need to get it started and under construction. Oh, let me go to the hog thing and then chat, mom. I have an idea for your channel that I was thinking about. The last one I was actually in there live. So my husband, so I never got taken. We had a coon dog, and I grew up in the country, and they went coon hunting and squirrel hunting and all that. I never got taken, and I always wanted to go. Never have. Well, then my husband has a friend at work that he's known for 4 years that has land out in the boonies, and he hunts on his own land. And so my husband, Tom, wanted to go hog hunting with him until the conversation they had a couple days ago. So he explained to my husband that the older the hog is, the worse it tastes. And because the older they are, the more time they have to, and they eat whatever they come across, carrion, whatever, and whatever they eat gets into the meat. If this is gross for you, go away. I'll wave to you when mute. I'll wave to you when I'm done. Because my husband thought that would be a good intro because they're small enough he could probably dress it himself, everything. And so Buck was explaining that you have to get the hogs when they're younger. And I was like, I had never heard this before. And my husband, after that conversation, he was like, I'm done. I'm not going to do it. I don't even want to try. I was like, because a lot of times the reason they hog hunt so much out here, especially, is they tear up the crops in the farmers' fields and they want them gone. So it's not so much to eat like deer. It's more of population control. So he's like, nah, I don't even want to do it now. So I need to get one of those boosters that boosts my internet into here because I'm farther away from it. I disappeared a little earlier. The other thing I was going to mention, which you kind of already do, Chat Mama, but I was thinking that this is what I want to do. Why I want to do the website so much is there are channels that when we had the SPTV list that didn't want to be on the list, still doing stuff, but you highlight the small channels and clips and stuff. But what I was thinking was, if you don't get enough clips and you need some content, you could find a small channel and just highlight them, not even with clips. And I was thinking you could go a little further. And, we have a lot of people on here that have supporters that have separate channels that do other things like the crafts, and stuff like that. People that have been in our chats and supported for a long time, that it might be fun to highlight them too. It's up to you, because it's kind of non-Scientology content. I was just thinking, like, the end of your show, the last few minutes, if you don't have a lot of clips, that might be something that you could do. But that's something I want to have on the website, is a separate list of maybe highlight channels like that are doing other things, but they're supporters of the community. I don't know how that would work exactly, but yeah. I think if you cured it right, seasoned it right, cooked it right, you could probably do pretty well with it. Yeah, definitely think about it. It was just something I was thinking of when on days that you don't get a lot of clips, that you can, instead of just worrying about having if you don't want to do the extra channels, just, the reason I say this is because right now we don't have a comprehensive list. Maybe just highlight a channel that's doing some sort of Scientology content, and don't worry about so much the clips, and just say, well, this here's a channel, da 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 da. Because I don't know about a lot of channels. I'm finding out about people having channels that I didn't even know about, because they're either not on a comprehensive list, I haven't heard about it. It's sometimes word of mouth. And oh, hey, Journey. Anyway, I want to incorporate that into the website. This is the problem. I have really good ideas, and implementing them is the issue. And when I'm not, I think about stuff, and then it literally, this is where my fibromyalgia really, really stresses me out. Before I had fibro, I was not like this. I was on top of everything. I didn't have to write anything down. I got all my stuff done. I remembered everything. I didn't even have to write down doctor's appointments for anybody. I had a 4-person family. So after I got fibro, I was talking to my mother-in-law, who's since passed away. And she had the beginnings, early Alzheimer's. And we were talking, and we literally had the same symptoms. And so just, it's not that I don't have the time. I'll think of something, and then it literally leaves my brain and is gone. There's been times and like I'll say something on a live stream. Oh, I'm going to do that when I get home. Gone. And then 3 weeks later, it might pop into my head. And I know that people that don't deal with this, I know this is something I've read about, that your friends and family will get upset with you because of things like that. It can be taken personally. And I'm like, it is not a choice at all for me to not, I'll think of checking my email, and the computer's right here, and it goes away. Like, I literally went into the kitchen today or yesterday to get some ice. I ended up coming back with a meal and no ice because I forgot why I went in there. Totally gone. Till I sat down and got comfortable, and I was like, oh, I've had that the last couple of weeks. Yep, I know exactly how it hurts to touch your. I know. For me, it was fibro. Lately, it's been from the exercise. This thing I'm getting in my legs from walking a lot. Tom tried to help me, and he touched my foot, and it was like, it's coming back. How painful that is. So I don't know how long I was gone there. Why is my signal so bad? It's like barely one line. Yeah. I'm glad you understand. No, and from now, I used to read a novel a week, and now I can barely read a magazine article. I will be watching a show, and like, let's say it's like a history show, and the conversation starts with the year or the date, and they go talking, and I literally have to rewind 3 times and concentrate to remember that time they just said. All right, how long was I gone that time? I want to like reboot it, but I don't know if that would even help. Anyway, I was saying that I have to rewind a show to be like, it'll be a show I'm watching. It always starts with the date and the year for whatever. reason. And I'll have to rewind it 3 times. Tom has been talking to me, and I'm like, "No, wait a minute, what did you just say?" And by the 3rd time, okay, I disappeared in my screen. And I have to say, all right, say it again. And I stare at him to retain the information. And he doesn't understand, because for, let's see, 2010, I was 41 when I got sick. So, and he's known me. So it's been, even though he's had ADD his whole life, it's like that, only I think worse. So he doesn't understand why I can't keep track of stuff, and he gets mad at me. And I'm like, I can't, you don't understand. I can't do that anymore. My brain doesn't work like that anymore. It's gone. That part of me is gone. And it's just so frustrating. That's the worst part for me, the memory loss. And it worries me too. I do a lot of studying about early Alzheimer's, early dementia, things I can do. Okay, Cher, I appreciate it. I do that a lot too. Um, let's see, I just forgot what I was saying. But and that too. One day I was having real trouble with words, and when we did our fibro chronic pain panel, there were things on there I hadn't read before, and it was getting words for things wrong in a sentence, and I do that a lot. And it used to be, when I was younger, and people do it all the time, and it happens. But mine is like way, way, way worse than what is normal. Yeah, I do. I worry about it a lot because of the meds I'm on, because of the fibro. I really do. And I told my husband, Oregon has assisted unaliving. And I told him, if I get to the point where I don't know who anyone is and I can't take care of myself, we're done. I'm going to write a will. It's going to be in there. And that's it. Did you guys see Jimmy Carter? Them rolling him out on his bed? I don't want to get to that. Well, he didn't know what was going on. I don't think he did. But he looked so sick and so frail, and just, he's like 90, wasn't he? He just passed away recently. And I told my husband, every time I see something like that, I'm like, I am not going to get like that. They had to roll him out on a rolly bed. He couldn't even get in a wheelchair anymore. I think it was to vote. I think he was going to vote or something like that. And then there was another one where he was at a function, and he was 100. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he made it to 100, but he didn't look good. But yeah, well, that's what happened to me too. You know, I was bedridden and homebound until the beginning of 2024. And you guys actually watched me from day one. When I finally started to get things back, I started protesting as soon as the implant was healed. So, and yeah, that was hard too. My body still does it. It does things that I don't want it to do all the time. I've thrown things, just chucked it I had no control over my arms. All right, I was gone. I disappeared again. I don't know. See, I'm the opposite. I'd rather not lose my mind. I just, If I don't know who anybody is and I can't take care of myself anymore, I just don't want to be that kind of burden. My parents went really fast. They they went really fast, and they were gone by the time I was 30. My mom from lung cancer, and she went in. I was with her in hospice when that was hard, and I didn't have to take care. I tried taking care of her for about a week before she went in, and it was really hard because I didn't know what I was doing. I dropped an oxygen tank that was 4 feet tall. They didn't even give her a small one. I'm trying to get her in a wheelchair to go to her oncologist, who shouldn't have even made her come in. And she's like, "Don't drop that; it'll blow up." And I dropped it because I'd never dealt with that before. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I get that. I do get that. Yeah, yeah. But I wonder though, when people get to that point, are they always blissfully unaware? Do they have points where they do remember and they're like, "Crap, my life is crap"? That's the kind of stuff I think about. I don't want to be all down on this one, but it just was part of the conversation of why I'm not on top of things like I used to be. I mean, if this had been before Fibro, I could have done that website by myself and ran it. I mean, I was working full time. I was teaching adult Sunday school. I was doing a church newsletter. Um, one of the years Tom was gone by myself. I was by myself when he was in Korea. I had Girl Scouts on Tuesday, Boy Scouts on Monday, youth at church on Wednesday. The kids had Taekwondo Tuesday and Thursday, and Saturday morning, and we went to church on Sunday. Literally, the only night I had free was Friday night. And my daughter liked to go roller skating. She was in middle school, and I said, "If you go, you got to get a ride home," because that was my night to take half of a Vicodin and a Flexeril and go to sleep. I only took it one time a week. I take that stuff, and it's like candy. It doesn't put me to sleep at all. Yeah. Well, before it was just me and mine, and the new current adjustment is now I have people in my life. Things I need to be doing. I have you guys. I say I'm going to do something. I have people expecting me to get something done, and I didn't have that all these years. Um, it was just me and Tom because when I first got sick, my son was already in the Navy. My daughter was a senior in high school, and then she moved out. So I didn't really have anybody relying on me. The first 14 years. So that's what it is. And now I'm at work, and I look like a ditz. I forget. Before, I used to be on top of everything. I could multitask three things, and I didn't have to be told twice. And now I'm at work, and I'm missing things. It's not, I'm doing my job fine, but it's little things like um, just little ways you can, do something more efficiently, or separating the keys from the card in different pockets so I don't lock myself out like I did. Things that I don't, and or I'll see, like I saw some mail on the desk when I got to work. I don't work during the day, so I don't deal with the mail. So I didn't think about taking that mail and go putting it in the mail slots because that's usually done during the day. Well, when the boss came in Monday morning and relieved me, he's like, "Is that your mail?" Or he said, "Is that yours?" And I said, "Yes." I thought he meant my cup sitting next to it. He goes, "Oh," because I thought he didn't take care of the mail. I go, "Oh, no." The 4 hours of training I had, he told me if there's mail, go put it in these boxes, and he showed me, but I don't work during the day. It just that wouldn't have happened in my prior life, kind of stuff. I know, but the protesting and the channel is what has given me the strength and the motivation to do the things I'm doing. So it's pretty important in a lot of ways. So not being able to get go do the thing that I'm have this channel for is very frustrating. It's not so much that I'm worried about anybody relying on me. It is a little bit, but that helps me knowing that you guys are expecting me to be there. A lot of days is what gets me out of the house. Back before I had the job, there were days I was like, but once I'm out, I'm good. Oh man, I couldn't imagine have gone through that because my daughter went off the deep end. So my husband was in Iraq. He literally left the day I went in the ER, and we thought it was something that was going to pass. She was 17. This was August. In January, she turned 18, and she just took advantage. Was just her dad was gone, her mom was sick, and she just went off the deep end and went nuts. And after she was 18, it was 10 months. May, we told her she had to move out because she was taking money and taking the car, lying about where she was, just all this stuff. And I'm like, you want to be grown? Go be grown. I know, but yeah, I know. It's just, it was really important to me. It really is important to me. So it's not just, you guys or, subscribers. It's not even that. I wasn't going to get into all this. I was just, what I've been doing is really important to me. Thanks. So, irregardless of, you guys are great, my supporters and stuff in chat, going out there and doing what I've been doing is really, really important. And this job isn't that important. I didn't need it. It's really nice with the extra money and all. We talk about in those 2 months I've been gone, how many people did they get to go inside? Or how many people did I miss talking to? Oh, I know. Yeah, I know about that too. It took me years. It was a therapist. I didn't read the book, but I got the title, and it said it was called When Your Body Says No. And I actually went through that kind of stuff long before I got fibro. Being an army wife and being alone for years at a time was so stressful. things. I know you guys would be supportive. I know you guys are. It's just the basic reason for having this channel is, it wasn't to sit here and chat on Friday or Saturday night, or reading the book was cool too. I learned a lot. But the basic reason for, I'm an activist. The word active is in there. So I just, oh gosh, it's just, I have never gone this long in a gap before. There's been times where I missed a week or even 2 weeks for weather or whatever. Um, but it's going on. It's going on over 2 months now. And I got to figure out how to work it around this job. I've got to figure out how to get on a better sleep schedule. I go from Monday morning to Saturday night without, I could be on a normal schedule. But I like at least the idea of the Friday night 6th Street because it's about to be summer. People are going to be out more. And that's my schedule. I know I made it last week, but only once. I used to go 3 times a week. Like clockwork. When it was 105 degrees outside. If I can do that, I can go anytime. I don't. Okay, my screen disappears. It's once more than you. But I am trying to think of different places I can. I don't know why I didn't think of 6th Street sooner. Because it came from the comment of if I could go protest at 2 o'clock in the morning, I could do it. And I'm like, I could. I know, Chamlin, I know. It's just, I know. It's just been bugging me, you know. But no, like you started the conversation was you're not allowed to quit. I'm not gonna quit. I would, God, it would take a lot to make me quit. Like a lot. I don't even know what it would take. But it would take a lot. And that's why I'm not even close to wanting to quit ever. That's why it's stressing me out because I don't want to quit. Yeah, you know what? I like the idea of going now that we've got 2 cars, and that's my schedule anyway. So if I went to 6th Street on Friday night, I don't even have to do it every Friday, but you know, then I come home, do my sleep, go to work on Saturday. Yeah, yeah, it's both. I made a doctor's appointment to talk to my doctor about my legs. What's going on with those? It's been way, way, way better with the compression socks. Uh, but I just wanted to talk to the doc and see if he's got any, different ideas of what I could do. Oh gosh, I gotta quit hitting this table. It's really close to me now, because of the way the bed sits. So it's like the table's like right here. So I'm always hitting it. Okay. Whew, it's Friday night. Let's do better. Have a better time. Yeah. Hey, Dusty, what's up? I saw you out with the crew. I was actually gonna mod for you, and I was watching, and nobody came in and bugged you. The link. What? Oh. I know what you mean. I wasn't thinking. Okay. Sometimes I don't think about it. Oh, did they? Oh, I should have stayed. Oh, I had to go. Tom was getting ready for work. Oh, that was the first time I would have been able to get rid of him, boot him out. Oh, that's about when I left. Hey, did you go hang out with them, or did you go home, or did you stay? It sounds like you stayed. Okay. If it's a senior, I know. I have her email. If you can't find it, hey, there's Tamara. Hello. Ooh, I like that background. That's cool.
Thank you.
Very bright.
Can you hear me okay? Because I'm further away from the mic.
Yep, I hear you fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah. How you been?
Okay. I mean, I've kind of been going through what you've been going through with the guilty feelings about not being out there protesting, and yeah, it's a bit much, but just like I told you, we have to not beat ourselves up. We can only do so much.
I know. I know. My head knows that.
Mhm.
My heart doesn't.
Yeah,
So, and I'm sure you understand. We
I
know
do.
in one way, yeah, we should be okay with it. But then the other part is like, oh, but we're not. Hey, Journey, how are you?
Hi.
Journey.
Okay. Yeah. You seem like you need some friends right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do. And I thank you guys for being here. Oh, Sid was in your chat, Dusty. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. I need to find her email so I
Okay.
can send her that link, but yeah, I can't forget about that. I walked the dogs, went to Costco, and then all of a sudden Dusty came in and I was like, oh yeah, the email.
Yeah.
Let me see
Yes.
if I have it
It's
because I've emailed her. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Y'all chat amongst yourselves. I'll find it.
yeah.
Let's see.
Well, the thing about it, Kim, is that there's so many more people that go through this same thing that were not talked about not even 5 years ago, and it's it almost reminds me of like the 1950s with the women's hysteria.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Because no one
Yep.
talked about really what was happening, because it's like they just raise children.
Yeah. They sit at home and eat bonbons and watch
Yeah,
the
there's
kids.
no hormone changes, there's no sickness, there's no mental health. um yeah,
Yeah.
and it's so crazy to me that in 2025 um they're still trying to figure out, because there are doctors that don't believe in fibromyalgia
Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
because
Hi,
it
Jay.
is
Long
invisible.
time no see.
Oh,
Hi.
hi.
So
Did you fall? No. Oh, but I didn't work. I'll have to tell you about that, Dusty.
Oh no.
Like early when I was having to work those extra days, I fell twice in the same day,
Ooh.
just flat on my front. My ribs hurt for 10 days. I thought
Mm.
Tom thought I broke one. But I didn't want to interrupt what you were saying. I'll tell you about that in a second. But I didn't tell anybody at work for two reasons. One, the worst thing you can do as a security guard, two things, Tom told me, is one, drop your weapon, which I don't have. I'm not armed, or fall.
I'm good at falling. I could be hired.
Me too.
That's
Luckily,
prerequisite. I got it.
Thank God the
Yep.
cameras aren't working in that area anymore. They're down and they haven't fixed them, or else there's literally 4 cameras on where I fell the first time. And I was like, oh, thank God. But yeah, you were talking about the hysteria and all that. Because I, reading Dianetics, and I had to put myself in that mindset in 1950 when this book came out, and why people, were drawn to it. And that's why, because it offered them a solution that wasn't available at the time.
Right.
It was asylums, or if you were
Mhm.
rich, you could get a therapist, or you just kept your mouth shut.
Right. Because you should just go get your hair done or your nails.
Right.
Or fall
I
asleep.
swear that's still the solution nowadays.
Yeah.
Like,
It does kind of help,
yes.
Back in the
And-
day when I was stuck in my house 6 days a week with home daycare. And there were days I just put makeup on to look nice and made me feel better.
Yeah.
And that's what I do when I really feel sick or like, I hurt. I just put red lipstick on. I'm like, I got this.
Yeah.
But it only lasts, like, if there's seriously like the breakdowns or like the really like, because you can get depressed fast in the body that you're in, or the pain level. Yeah. You kind of feel stuck, and in your brain just goes like, this is it. Like, I don't like who I am. To me, when my brain goes that way, I feel stupid. I feel really stupid. Like, I could picture what word I want to say, but I can't come up with it.
Oh my gosh, I know. I get it.
And it made
Yep.
it, no, ever since I was 30, that happened. And I'm like, okay, I already have a learning disability. I had a speech impediment when I was a kid. Now I have this thing going on. I'm like, I should have just learned sign language. But then my hands get all like swollen.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm like, there's no real way to go. And when my husband was trying to figure it out, and in his mind, I had to figure it out. He's like, you just got to do it. And I had to do it. I mean, my first lesson in making it go right is I broke my arm in an unforgiving break when my daughter was 1.
Mm-mm.
She was still in diapers. I still had a bather. I still had my husband took the first day off, and then he went back to work. Your day off did not help me. I learned how to crack a egg with one hand, my left hand.
Mm-hmm.
You figure
So
things out.
I made it work the
Yep.
way I had to. When my body completely failed when I was 38, I had to crawl to the bathroom and make my way up to the toilet. Like, the toilet was too high for me. Damn it. And I had to wear diapers. It sucks so bad, and it's so humiliating when you get into this state of mind where it's like a toddler has a better chance of mobility and learning than I do, because I'm on the decline and I'm only in my 30s. And that's when I was like, I don't care what wall is in front of me. If I have to dig under it, I'm getting through it. Because now I'm pissed off.
I would have days like that where, I still do, where I just get fed up and pissed off and like my house, and I'll go and I'll clean through the pain. There was one time I was cleaning the toilet and crying because of my back, but I couldn't stand it anymore. But I did it.
Yeah. And there are times where you have to pause and accept the pain and not push through it.
Yeah.
I've had to learn that because I can only do what I can at the moment. That's when I had to slow, and this took years. This took years. I'm 43. I was like, well, how old? I just turned 43.
I've been dealing with it
Yeah.
since 2010, so 15 years.
I'm at 13.
Yeah. At 14,
And that's
when
why I
got a
pretend I
little
don't have fibromyalgia, because I have a back issue. I had other issues. And then yesterday, I totally went off on my daughter because she was like, what is this? What is that? She wants to talk to me. And I was like, leave me alone. Because I was literally like this in bed. Because everything from the, I mean, my hair follicles were, it's like
overstimulation.
all the way to, I was overwhelmed and tingly. Like it just like nonstop. And I was like, no, leave me alone. She started yelling at me. I yelled back. And she's like, Mom's yelling at me. I'm like, you better. I was like, I'm not moving from this bed. I'm laying completely horizontal. I do not feel good. Don't even make me tell you my ailments.
Yeah.
And I've been sick since she was 4. Because to
How
her,
old is
she's
she
like,
now?
16. She
Oh.
says you always don't feel good.
Yeah, when mine was 17 when I got sick. And wow.
I so want to just tell her, not by choice. Trust me. I wish I could take my pain and put it in a box and be like, I'll see you in the morning.
Yep.
When I can deal with you, because I have to get stuff done now. I wish I could do that. But
mine were 10 when I first got sick. They're going to be 40 this year.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, I just want you to take this in. I know your own, like whatever you feel right now and everything is so raw, and like you're at the done point, and you want so much more. I want that for you. I want you to want more, but take a little time for yourself to accept this is what your body's going through right now.
Yep.
And you're coping, you're trying, you have a husband that's trying to understand too. I've been there. My husband did not get it. It took him years. Now he gets it. When I tell him I'm overstimulated, I'm done, he knows that I can easily throw the computer out the window or crash in the ditch. He knows I can do it. He knows I will if I get to, because I am gonna say what I feel, and this is how it is. I'm not making it up. You know, like I know, right? Right, Jay? She looks. I know.
My kids are in their 30s. I have grandkids. And my grandkids, I used to watch them. And I did push through and you know, before they were going to school. But when they got a little older, you know, there were days where all I could do is sit and we'd play Uno on the bed. And they were really good about it. My grandkids were really good about it. They were good kids. They're 12 and 13 now.
What's embarrassing is my daughter tells people that I lay in bed most of the time. Thanks, Caitlin. Thanks. I'm just lazy. Thank you.
I got so bad being in this room for so. That's why I have things like this stuff, because I was stuck. This is for my remote. This is for all the cords. You know, everything was set up within reach. And
I'm still set up that way.
Yeah, well, so am I. Yeah, it's still there. I mean, it's pretty cool. But when I started to get better, we had cleaned up the living room, and I have not sat in the living room in so long that the chase, I literally was in there on the chase like a month or two. I would sleep out there on the chase and stuff. The sun was gone at night anyway, because I just didn't want to come back in this room.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be in here anymore. I feel like it's a cave. But I'm still, most of the time I'm in here. But that's why the protesting got me out.
Mhm.
It gave me something outside of myself to motivate me to get out and get moving. I mean, I try not to get like this on the channel. That's not what it's for. But I mean, there were days I'm out there from the drive and the parking, and I'm out there a couple hours. I'm gone all day. When I get home, I have gotten out of the truck before and not been able to stand up straight. I've literally walked inside, bent over, and but I don't think about that when I'm going. I don't. I really don't.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I just, it works as the kinks out after, a half hour or so. I'm usually okay. Once I lay down, and lay flat for a little while, it
Yeah.
works itself out. So, and I felt I've gotten stronger because of it. If I hadn't had the protesting, I would probably just still be laying in bed, probably. Even with, though the back is better, there's still all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So that it's partly that too, that it gave me something other that was bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't feel like I'm failing myself. I feel like I'm failing what I wanted to go out and do, what I had accomplished or could accomplish. So it just adds a little bit to it, other than what I used to deal with, the family, the kids, and the things I normally do. Is there's this other layer of, I feel like, that of guilt, I guess, a little bit.
But
And
Kim, you still have to remember that you now have a job that is very physically demanding. And working a night shift, I I don't know if you know this, but I remember reading somewhere quite a while ago that the statistics are that I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't want to say the exact words, but people who work night shifts often have more mental health issues
My husband's in here.
because of working, yeah, because
He's
of
yeah,
worked
working
nights for
the
13
night
years.
shift. Yeah. Now that doesn't mean everybody, but it's more
right,
common.
Makes a lot of
right.
sense, actually.
And
It's because our bodies are made. There are some night owls, but the
yeah,
majority of us need that downtime for our cells to rejuvenate.
yep.
Body needs to rest. The mind needs to rest. The mind
And
needs
it's
to
the
go in an actual state.
circadian
Yes,
rhythm.
yes. And when you're working nights, because I've worked it in the ER, it's it it was a really weird flip, and my eating habit was changed
Mhm.
because I was hungry at different hours than normal.
Mm-hmm.
That like my lunch was at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
oh, okay. And then my dinner was at 6, and then I would go home and sleep.
I
So
with my husband, what I've noticed is working nights. I used to only need 4 to 6 hours sleep. He literally will sleep 12 hours. He'll come home, he'll sit on his phone and watch some shorts for a while, and go to sleep and sleep until it's time to leave. Whereas when you work a day shift, he used to come home after working all day and
Mhm.
help me out in the evening and
yeah,
hang out and watch TV and then go to bed. So I can see a big difference there. So I didn't think working 2 days a week was going to throw me off so bad, because I tried night shift one time for a week and it made me sick. I knew I couldn't work night shift. Staying up late before, I would probably go to sleep 3, 4, 5 in the morning. but I was sitting here. I wasn't active. So it
But you
has been
have to,
weird.
but Kim, you have fibro, so your body is going to respond differently, and it's going to also take longer to adjust to
Right.
changes and
And
to
just to let you know,
recover.
the moon with the tide and all the pull, it's all true.
Oh, I
Because when
know.
there's a
I
full
believe
moon,
it.
trust me, more mental illness cases show their faces.
I know. My
In that,
husband has dealt with that, just insecurity, because he has to patrol outside of the facility in a car. So he
yeah,
deals with people at night, and
yeah,
he notices it too when the
yeah.
moon is out. So Jay, I don't know if you haven't heard about my job.
Boy, does she get those steps in. Woo.
Oh, that's the problem. I'm doing 20,000 steps in 12 hours, which
You have 12-hour shifts.
212, yeah, 6 to 6.
No, your body's gonna feel it.
Oh God, I know.
Your mind,
By the
even
time
your
I'm towards the end of the night, I'm shuffling. I can't even
no.
walk.
What
But
helped me when I shuffle, and I still do. Every day I'm shuffling. When I can't pick up
oh
my feet and I
no,
trip
girl,
on the
Yep.
smallest
no.
crack because I'm just in. Nope, keep going.
Yep.
It's still a step. I'm moving.
Yeah.
So
I'm going
Jay said 4
sideways.
miles. So I looked at a chart, and the phone we have to carry with us everywhere we go counts our steps, and I write my steps down. And the thing is, for normal people, it's 2,000 steps is a mile, but I'm short. So actually, it takes me more steps for a mile. It's 22,433 steps. My husband wants to take me to a track and really track my steps. I know. And so I figure it out, and they added an extra patrol. So the facility I'm at is a whole block. The building isn't, but I do an outer perimeter and inner perimeter, and it's a whole block. Then there's 4 floors that I have to go and walk, and then I watch cameras some of the time. But when they I was doing 6 to 7 miles, but when they added this every hour check to this building that's literally on the other side of the block, it went up to 8 miles the last couple weekends. I haven't walked 8 miles since basic training in 1986.
Mhm.
And I just don't know how. Yeah, that's exactly it. I wish it was 4 miles. So,
Yeah.
so then I
You're
have a recovery time. I'm like, Monday, I'm done.
Yeah.
Can't do anything on Monday once I
Mhm.
get off. But like Scooter Mom and I talked about it a lot. I don't know how I'm doing it. It's literally force of will.
seeing an 8-hour shift at my retail job. I walk 6 miles, 5 to 6 miles. So, because I'm constantly moving, but because I only am working for it's 3 months, but I'm dead for the 12-hour work week, not a day work week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So your flare ups and your muscles, that's why they give out. Because there are times where, and my husband has caught me mid go wee because I would lose my balance, and instead of walking straight, I'm walking sideways, and he goes out to. He's like, "You all right?" Because he knows my balance is not.
That worried me too,
That's
because I went from a walker to a cane, and I only stopped using the cane when I started the job. Because you can't be in security and have a cane. It's actually been okay for the most part.
You need one of those what are those high-tech scooters?
Scooter Mom would know.
They used to no, like I swear mall cops use them, or at least in the movies.
Oh, the
Oh, the
I know it.
segways.
Segway!
Yes.
Segway!
God, I wish. Because the building,
It won't work
building
on the
I'm in-
stairs, though.
oh my gosh. The building I'm in is a block long. It's not that wide. So, but I mean, geez,
But a
walking
Segway
those floors,
is literally
that would be
your wrist.
awesome. They would never let me do it, but that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Especially that when I do the outer perimeter, I'm literally
Mhm.
walking on the road because there's not a sidewalk the whole block. So I'm literally walking on the road, checking doors, walking all the way around, checking locks, and all the way around. And
Do
that's
you
the
have
only
a
part.
fluorescent vest or anything?
Yes.
Okay, good, because
Yes.
never know
You have
about
to
the
wear a
night.
safety vest.
Okay.
We have to wear because inside it's industrial. It's a distillery,
Okay.
and the reason I couldn't have a Segway, they would say no, is we can't have electronics in the facility because of the fumes from the alcohol. Could be, I can't even have like the phone we carry has a special case. I have to have an explosive proof flashlight. I don't think it's that strong when I'm there, but it's just the facility standards. So, yeah. So I couldn't have anything like an actual Segway or scooter because
Well,
those,
a Segway would be awesome,
it
and
would,
it would be a totally improvement.
especially when I do the outer perimeter. Holy crap, that's a whole block.
40 miles an hour.
Honestly, the block I counted the other day, the block itself, because I counted before I left and it was about 2,000 steps for just when I do the outer perimeter, and we have to do this all the rounds within 2 hours, and then we have a building on the other side that this is a very old neighborhood in Waco. It's
Okay.
old. The building I'm in is 103 years old. And
Is it brick?
Yes.
Yeah,
Golf
okay.
cart. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
How's your magnesium?
I take magnesium when I go to sleep
Okay.
to help me sleep. So I do take that. I do take a lot of supplements to help me out. I take the B12 for energy. I take CoQ10. You wouldn't believe the amount of supplements I take.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of your muscles.
Yeah. I do think about those things. I am
Epsom salt baths actually help your muscles too.
Yeah, I do have Epsom salt, but I haven't actually done that. I'm so tired when I get home. I don't even want to get in the tub.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and
But when you're going to be awake for a few hours before you go to sleep,
And it will help you sleep.
soaking in the tub. Yeah.
It would literally, because it
it
doesn't only, especially with toxins or whatever, because I get full body massages.
I
Because
used to get those.
yeah,
I need
no,
to
I
take
swear it's my treatment. I'm like,
You know where I go?
something.
It was years ago. We went to the school, the massage school, and it was like half price. It was like $30 for an hour. This was several years ago. It might be more. If you have one in your area, that is the best place to go. They did great.
Awesome.
And they even, I mentioned my neck, and the instructor came out when he read my sheet, and they talked about my neck and how to work with my neck injury, which was cool.
Yeah.
And he talked
it's great for the students too.
Right. And oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go back so bad. I just have put it off.
Yeah. But she told me
really
about the Epsom salts. It helps with whatever toxins she,
They would tell me to drink a lot of water to keep getting the toxins out. Yeah.
Exactly. But the Epsom salt to really, because my muscles get so tight and cramped, even my foot. She said your foot's not letting go.
So
and the Epsom salts also help your body absorb magnesium from the Epsom salts, and it doesn't affect your bowels, if you get my drift, because when you take too much magnesium,
just like iron and everything,
yeah.
I have had low iron my whole life, and I took iron for a month, and it didn't raise my iron levels at all, and I quit taking it because of the side effects.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'll just deal with the low iron. But yeah,
that affects everything too.
I know.
How
And
your muscles
there
and body.
are other ways to get your iron without taking those supplements that cause the issues. Becky was telling me that she was
The
going for
infusion.
iron infusions. I
I see my doctor the beginning of next month, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
bring that up. This is it's a new guy. My in the military because we have to go to the army hospital. The doctor we liked has rotated out and got they move him around a lot. So now we're seeing somebody completely new. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna mention the iron infusions because I've had low iron my whole life. I can't give blood, but it's not. I don't go anemic. It's like right
Yep.
there. Too low to give blood, not low enough to be anemic. And I eat ice, which I found out is a symptom of low iron. I don't know why. Maybe there's iron in water. I don't know. But and I started that a couple of years ago.
But
So,
yeah. No, I'm just trying to help
I know.
think of things that I have to do to self because I had to learn the hard way because I never thought about myself first.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ever.
yeah.
And I still struggle.
I
But
was
when
like,
I'm in so much pain, I'm like, leave me alone. Go away. Find
moms
something
do
else.
that.
You're 16. Go make yourself food. I don't care if you're hungry. Like,
Yep.
I mean,
but
I
when
was
you're
like
4,
that
I can say
too.
that. I'm like,
Because Tom
yeah.
was gone. Or, you know, I mean, he was gone 10 of 21 years. And I know there's no family down here, and I quit having friends because they're nuts. So it was just me and the kids. And so there was one time my kids went to camp with Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts at the same time, and they were gone. But I was still in my home daycare, and I realized I had not been alone one
Yep.
day in like 5 years,
I'm on a life.
I'll be right back.
and I thought I was going to take that time. You know what? I missed them so much that I had two girls that had been in my daycare for 7 years that were about to move to Germany. And I took each one of them on different nights and took them to the movies and did something fun with them. They were practically like my kids because I missed my kids and I was going to miss them leaving. So I didn't take any time for me while they were gone. Not really.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm so glad they're gone. And no, I wasn't. Oh,
Yeah.
ooh. Yep. I do. But I mean, I do not have a problem taking pills. My husband gags when he takes pills. I can take 5 horse pills all at once and no problem. So we used to do the gummies and all that, but I do but you know what? I haven't been taking my magnesium when I should, when I'm ready. I do try to remember to take it when I sleep, but this is my box. So half of it is prescription, the other half is supplements. And but I put my supplements like this instead of a bunch of bottles, and I have a big box somewhere else. So I have my magnesium. My Manos is for my bladder. By the way, if you have problems, RH has this problem, and D Manos has helped my bladder issues so much. When I'm out, I feel like I have to go to the bathroom all the time. When I'm taking it, and then my B12. So what else do I take? I take lysine. Now I got this for my husband because he gets shingles, and he doesn't take it because he hates pills. But I take it because it's good for nerves and stuff, and with fibro and everything. Um, and then now glucosamine. I was out for a couple weeks recently, and I could tell. Oh my gosh, my knees and my elbows hurt so much. So I make Tom take the glucosamine because he has the same issue. What else do I take? CoQ10, which I just started taking up. Now the cranberry was for him because he has kidney problems, but he's not taking that either. It's hard to get him to take pills. Omega 3. and calcium because we get, what's that bone thing we get? Osteoporosis. I'm worried about that too. So that's what I'm taking right now. I used to take actually more a long time ago, like, but I have to remember to take that magnesium when I go to sleep
There was a pill
and a
that
multivitamin.
a mother-in-law swore by, and I took it a little. It's like Sarah. Is it?
I don't know.
No. It's made from silkworms, but the pill, it actually it's a magical pill. We just say that. It's supposed
I'll
to
take
take
magic.
any type of illness or anything, ailment, and it takes it, like, filters it out of you.
Ooh, hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
And it's like, is it serapeptase?
Silkworms. Supplement from silkworms. Serapeptase?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I was like,
That is a wild ass word.
mm-hmm.
I've never heard of that.
But I would research that one and see if that's something that interested you.
I will.
I just got tired of the
Somebody
26
told
pills
me-
I had to take and then one extra. I was like, I'm done.
Well, there's protein powder, there's silkworm oil, extract. Oh, for menopause. Oh, I need that. I'm definitely checking that out.
But that's what I mean. It's like it's not like a cure-all. It's
Right.
just one of those things. If you have it in your body, it immediately goes and takes it, like a toxin, like helps it, your body get rid of it.
Well, so something I talked about, I don't know if you heard it or not. I know Scooter Mom did. When we were talking about fibro, because they didn't know what caused it. In my mind, I really thought about it myself, and I felt like toxins in our environment, in our food, in our dishes and things. I got rid of all plastic. I went to glass or stoneware in my microwave. This is what got me out of bed. I was completely bedridden and weak. I changed my diet. Somebody told me to change my diet, but it took me a year or two to do it. Back then, it was hard to get gluten-free. I went gluten-free, which gluten causes inflammation and pain.
Yeah.
And when I went gluten-free and I went no processed foods and fresh or frozen produce, I couldn't even open an envelope. I was so weak for the first 4 years. And because fibro, that's how it manifested in me. It wasn't excruciating pain so much as it was this overall weakness. And so I got stronger. I was able to sleep better. I had more energy and I got out of bed. So through the years, it took me years. I didn't do this all at once. And so even, I bought the silicone baggies. I don't have a lot, but I get like one a month because they're expensive. I still use regular baggies, because I have to, but I really try hard not to use plastic. And my cleaners are natural. It's vinegar or orange cleaner. So I did a lot of that stuff, and that seems to have helped, to be honest. Just because I was trying to find things that in my environment that I could change, and a lot of it didn't help. And that's why I have a whole big notebook full of herbs and supplements that I've studied. I can't take them all. Gosh, I'd be taking like 20. I used to take like the green tea supplements and stuff, things like that. And I have here. See this here?
Oh yeah.
My oils. I found out frankincense oil helps with pain.
Yeah.
And a lot of other stuff up there. So trust me, I've tried to find anytime I hear about something, I'll study it. I am a researcher. And so I will definitely research that.
Yeah.
Take it because somebody offhandedly, my daughter, I think, told me about the D-Manos. and I felt like I was having real bladder problems. And they just said, "Well, you're just getting older." That's what my doctor said. You're just getting older. Deal with it. As soon as I started taking it, after a while, it was way better. My bladder was so much better, and when I'm out of it, I can tell. So that's when you know something works. When you're out of it and you go back to your original symptoms, you know it works. The glucosamine I know works. The D-mannose I know works. You know, that kind of thing. Oh, I just started taking melatonin to help me sleep, like literally last week. It seems to help a little bit.
Yeah.
So I haven't taken it every time. I don't think about it.
I
And I'm
take
used to taking it.
I take the magnesium to help me sleep.
Yeah, I do take
I'm
that.
afraid with the melatonin that it's
Mhm.
my body's gonna crave it like caffeine.
The thing I didn't like about melatonin before was it made me groggy all day when I did wake up. So
Yeah.
I've really taken it 2 or 3 times since I bought it. I just got it.
It's why I can't do NyQuil. I have a huge hangover afterwards. It makes me super dehydrated.
Have you ever been given amitriptyline to sleep?
No.
They gave me that to sleep, and it would make me. I could not wake up. I was like, no, I can't. No, I can't wake up. So Dusty's talking about the cops got called on him. When did that happen?
Tonight.
Did it really? After I left?
Yep. I
Was
can't
it before that?
remember if it was before or
I
after.
left when everybody had packed up.
Okay, so it was way before then.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. What happened?
Yeah. They called in a tip that somebody was waving around a pew pew.
Oh my. They're doing that again? Oh my.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're
But
still doing that crap.
the way the cops showed up, I think they were watching first before
Yeah.
they actually walked over, because they just walked over and asked some questions,
Yeah. Because they
and
have to
I
make the
couldn't
scene
hear.
safe for themselves. They're not gonna come up
Right.
on an open.
Yeah. I couldn't hear the cops talking. All I heard was nobody's waving around a pew pew. I mean, he said the actual word. I'm
Yeah, I
changing
know.
it for YouTube.
I got it up.
Where I worked was really.
I really hope they
If he
check
does, we
these
gotta make sure
calls
he did it.
because this is
They're
ridiculous.
across the street.
Here we go.
I heard somebody. Here we go.
Make him come to us.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it'll be
Okay.
Ask him why he still parked illegally.
Carol.
Going okay
Yeah.
tonight?
They just can't stop.
No issues? No issues with anybody else?
No.
Good. Enjoy your pizza. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Call the police on us.
No police calls
You're not
tonight.
doing keto, are you?
Well, then, if there's no
No,
call,
lactose intolerant.
Hi, good evening.
You guys just show up for no reason.
We received a Crime Stop at this location.
You're kidding.
I know.
Crime Stopper.
You're serious?
Yes, really.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't for
Well, I did
$5.
see some.
Yeah,
very
they definitely
suspicious
scoped it out
characters
first.
going on.
No issues, no disturbances, nobody
No.
waving a gun around, nothing like that.
Oh my God, we don't even own them.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys. Have a good night. I appreciate you.
I'm a
Have
lefty
good night.
okay, all right.
It's what first responders have to do no matter what.
I know.
Coming
I
on
know they
scene.
have to come. And
Yeah.
they were,
There was one time where a guy was completely robbed with a pew pew and everything, and he was pretty much unconscious, profusely bleeding. But we couldn't go on scene until the cops got on scene, and we're waiting for them to go on scene. Then we
I get that they have to respond,
Yeah.
but
so we're just
how
all in
they
waiting mode.
respond.
Yeah.
It's how that's a good way to respond. Come up, you ask them.
Dusty.
Pre-scooter report
What?
tonight.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nope.
For sure. Oh, did you get my email with the Jen and Tom Cruise stuff?
Yes, I did. I think I emailed you back and said thank you.
I haven't checked again. But yeah, that was
She says
tricky.
thank you now.
But
Well,
yeah,
this is
they responded
this
good.
is
I like that.
Yeah.
this is
She's
actually
like,
yeah,
"Nothing.
I
Have a good
agree.
night."
Way better than LAPD. But
Oh my
this is
gosh.
I'm laughing internally because I sat here on Monday and looked straight at the camera and said, some of you are falling down on the job when I was talking about clips and links. And all of a sudden, I have one from you, Kim. I have one from Cinderella. Now, Dusty.
Oh, the second
I'm
Oh
like,
link.
yeah.
do I have
You
to
did
do
the
this
little
every
dance.
week now? Hi, Becky.
Hey, Becky's
Were your
here.
ears ringing? We mentioned you a little while ago.
I can't go to those links from here. Send
Yeah,
it
you
to me
have to do it
email,
from the
Dusty.
YouTube.
If you send it to me email, I can get to it from there. Oh, good to see you.
Yeah, I've been so boring. I'm losing subs.
Yeah, me too. The subs
You know
don't
what?
bother me so
Me
much.
too.
You
Hang on.
know, I've
Kim,
lost over 100.
Really?
But
Kim,
yes.
copy and paste from the private chat. Or try it from the private chat.
Oh, private chat. There it is. All right. I see. Okay. Open link in new tab. Ooh. I've never done that before. Cool. All right. Got it.
Dusty, it better not be your corn videos.
Good signs.
Well, that looks like the same one.
I like that sign.
We're not seeing what you're seeing. We don't
Yeah,
see
we're
no
not seeing what you're seeing, Kim. We're
Oh,
still seeing the video from
That
the
guy
cops.
oh,
has
oh,
that
oh,
funny
oh.
smirk
Hold
on
on.
his face.
Okay, hold on.
Left-hand corner.
All right. I don't know what's going on there. All right. Let's try this again. Sorry about that. All right. All righty. Let's start that over. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your sign's over here.
I got a sign.
It matches your t-shirt.
Oh, you know what? That's actually one of the reasons I've stopped walking.
Bolt is the word.
Dance with the sign.
Yeah.
I love Grace.
It's a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult.
No, I learned something new. In French, colte.
What?
Yeah.
Colte is the word for cult, but it's so common because the cult, it's worship. That's what it translates to. So it culte could be a church, culte more, anything. And so for them to go into other cultures, Scientology, and try to establish their own rules, it's like they really can't read a room, or land or anything. But to have that as already a staple, and they're like, cold is bad, and it's like, it's what you worship. It's what. Yeah, Dusty, I saw that. I'm
all
like,
the
you're
time.
wearing Crocs?
Dusty, what's up with the Crocs though? I
And
mean,
white
please.
Crocs.
My husband loves his Crocs.
So funny.
Becky.
Oh no!
Oh,
I didn't even notice the socks with the Crocs. I just noticed the Crocs. Hey,
my husband. Oh my gosh. So we live in a normal neighborhood. Okay, we have neighbors, but the way our house. My husband literally ran outside in his underwear to do something. We are a little bit sideways to the street, but my neighbor across the street, she's hilarious. She goes, Tom, I see you. He turned around and ran back inside. I'm like, I can't believe you did that.
Every
Oh my God.
since the one
Oh,
teenagers egged our houses and then bragged about it right when I walked by. I was like, oh, so it was you? And they're like, no. And I was like, you just said it to everybody. And I egged that house and I egged that house. They all have cameras. I can't imagine. Yeah. Nope.
Oh God.
See, we lived in
And
the
what's a
country.
normal neighborhood? I got some weird neighbors. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I think we all do.
But I could be the weird neighbor too.
I could be, but I'm not. I try to keep all my weirdness inside.
I'm always yelling at my crazy puppy, who's gonna be 2, but
I'll
the
figure that
other
out.
neighbor was like, knocks on her door and was like, can Willow not attack the fence? And I'm like, he already knows her name because I yell it all the time. Like, I think we're the weird ones now.
Oh my gosh. So when early on, I lived in a trailer park, and I talked about this in the Toxic Friend video, where it was very small trailer park. We had to parallel park. It was so small. And everybody, because it's a military town, so we had a sergeant and we had 2 of his soldiers and their spouses, and everybody knew everybody else. And somebody got mad at me one day and called me the queen of trailer trash. And I said, cool. All right. I'll be queen of trailer trash then. I don't let people get to me. I'm like, I'll take it. So that was my nickname, and I took it. They were probably mad that it didn't make me mad, but that's why I deal with trolls the way I do now, because I've dealt with trolls before. I'm the same neighbor here. I am too, to be honest. I'm like normal, not loud,
Hi, Frotty.
all that. Hey, Frotty's here. But yeah, but back then we were a little bit weirder than we are now. We're older.
I've lived in the same house for 20 years, and we're the so it's like throughout our subdivision, we have some people that have lived here longer, but most are new. And
I've been here the longest.
I'm the old lady on the street, but
Yeah.
I've known who's gonna like kind of rock the boat.
Oh,
Especially with certain kids, the new teenage kids. We say, why you bring the ghetto? Why did you bring the ghetto? And the other neighbor is like, yeah, they did bring the ghetto. And I was like, because they're always the teenage boys are always up to something. And now it's a group that, all the teenagers go there because there's no supervision.
oh, my son went to a house like that when he was 18.
Yeah, they're a freshman now and a sophomore, and they get worse trouble. Yeah, I mean, there's no rain on them whatsoever.
Well,
and the mom thinks they're innocent, and we keep saying we went up to them. They're like, our houses got egged, and I know it's your son, or one of because he said it. No, they would never do that. You just admitted it. Why? And they're always on the roof, or now they're not, because I would always say something. I'll be like, dude. And then, my husband's like, you gotta stop doing that because they're getting bigger and they'll retaliate. We got cameras, and he's like, I don't want to deal with them.
I have the buses for both the middle school and the high school stop in front of my house.
Yeah, same here.
And oh my gosh. But my son was at this house where his parents let him do anything. And the cops got called one time. Thank goodness my son was not drinking underage, but some of them were. And so I just got a call from the police to come pick him up. And you know what my son said to me that made my heart warm? He said, his parents let him do anything. They don't love him.
Wow. Nice.
Wow.
I was like, ooh.
No.
So we were pretty strict. They had chores and all that, and they hated it. But for him to say that at 18 was awesome. He
Yeah.
didn't even realize
He
it.
had stability. They don't.
Well,
Mhm.
so I had to learn too. You know, when my kids were little, I think we spanked a little too much we popped them on the butt. But I started home daycare when my daughter was 2.5 and my son's 5 years old, 7.5. And so I had to learn to do things. I couldn't do corporal punishment. And I went to training. I had to do certain hours of training. And so I had to learn different ways to do things. But what I had school teachers bringing me their kids because the word got out that I could handle tough
Mhm.
kids. Because all I did was give them boundaries, and because kids need boundaries.
Yeah.
Letting kids do whatever they want does not help them.
Yep.
And if they brought me, I had one school teacher bring me her kids, and one was 2.5, and he threw tantrums. And
Mhm.
I had a 3-page contract, y'all, because I had some kid bring lice to my house 4 times, and so I had
Ooh.
like a whole page. Oh my god, the amount of money
Oh.
I spent, and oh my gosh, because I bought her the stuff for her house, and she was a friend of mine. That's why I put up with it for so long. I went to her house, and the bombs were still in her cabinet. All she was
Oh.
doing was treating the hair and not the house.
Mm.
Anyway, long story. So I had this long contract. We had 2-week probationary period. I said, we got 2 weeks. We'll do it. He threw one tantrum.
Mm.
Because what I would do, because I had kids that had done it before, I would ignore them. Before him, I had a kid who was about 4.5, 5, that I knew from church. And she was the wife was going to college. And I had dealt with him in the nursery at church, so I already knew. At church, I'd already done this. He would go to turn the lights off, and I'd just go and stand in front of the light switch. Didn't say anything. He'd pick up a toy and go to throw it. I would grab it out of his hand and not look at him. And I did that a few times. He quit because he wasn't getting the attention. He wasn't getting what he wanted out of that. Tom remembers because he helped me in the nursery a couple times. And so I would get these kids that would throw tantrums and stuff, and that's what I did. I would ignore them and not give them. And I got to tell you the story how I learned this. It was from a therapist. Way back in 1991, I had my first panic attack, the worst one ever. Tom was gone somewhere. It was in California. And my son was 4. He didn't have the terrible twos. He was quiet and an angel till he's 4. So he threw 2 tantrums, screaming and yelling. Now, the one thing that he did is if I put him in his room, he wouldn't leave. But I went in there and I think I spanked him one time. I think I yelled at him the second time. And I talked to my therapist, and he said, "Are you giving him attention?" I said, "Yeah, but he's getting in trouble. He's bad. No. Are you giving him attention?" He said, any attention, bad or they want, even if it's bad attention, that's what they're trying to get. So he did 2 more tantrums. He threw 4 total. The second 2 was the third one was 45 minutes. I literally put my chair up in front of the TV, those big tube TVs, turned it all the way up and ignored him.
Wow.
The second one was 30 minutes, did the same thing, never had another tantrum. And that's where I learned it. If I had not had that therapist at that time, I wouldn't have figured all that out. So it's pretty cool. Good night, Dusty.
Night, Dusty.
Night, Dusty.
Yeah, so I'm in a military town, and a lot of my kids were military kids. And I had my last year really burned me out, but I had 3 5-year-olds that all had ADHD and all knew each other. So they hung out on the weekends. What happens when you hang out all the time? You want to fight. You're tired of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, timeout did not work because the whole time they were in timeout, they were messing around. So I had them sign me a permission slip to allow me to make them do push-ups, sit-ups. We started with the holding out the arms. And so the whole 10-minute timeout, they're doing exercise. Literally the first time I did this, 3-4 seconds, my arms hurt. And things got way better after that. So we just, and they were getting in shape. So yeah, I had to get creative too, Becky. So daycare taught me a lot. If I hadn't had to do the training, I probably would have kept on with some, because I didn't have, y'all know about my mom. She was not the greatest role model there is. She was not a good mom. But my grandmother, though, she was old school. My grandmother, we were talking about this last night. I never heard her curse, never heard her raise her voice. This one was born in 1921 and raised 4 kids. She did the go out and pick me a switch when they did get in trouble. And if it was too thick, because they don't hurt as much, she'd make them go out and get another one. Now, she never did that with me because
Wow.
I loved going there, and she was amazing. So if I hadn't had her as a role model, I would have been I would have been messed up. Really messed up. The only reason I'm halfway normal is because of my grandmother. I actually talked about her in church because of the role model that she was. You don't get too many of those sometimes in life.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway. So so Dusty went good night.
Well, hi, Fraud.
Yep, he jumped in a little while ago. But yeah, we probably would. And so we did spank. I'm reading the spanking. You didn't spank. But it was very few and far between. And it was only if it would have injured somebody or if they were an adult, they would have went to jail. And they had to go in and sit down and think about it. And me and my husband's in the bedroom flipping coins because neither one of us want to do it. No joke. And my daughter was so cute. When she was like 7, she put books in her pants. And we would go in there and sit down and talk to them about what happened, and they would get a few paddles. So that's the way I was brought up. I got the belt, but I deserved it. It was major for it. I remember the couple 2-3 times it happened. So I think, so what I was doing when they were little is doing it too much, to the point that they didn't care. I was popping them on the butt too much, and so it got to the point where it didn't make any difference. And so luckily I had the therapist and I had the training with daycare, and I learned to be better at that. Now we have YouTube, but we didn't have that back then.
It's funny, Becky.
Yep. Oh, we did stuff like that too. When my oldest was in middle school and my daughter she wasn't quite as old, but I went in their room and I had washed and folded their clothes, and they're either stuffed under the bed or in the bottom of the closet. They started doing their own laundry. I stopped.
Yep.
Like, I'm not doing your laundry anymore.
Yep.
And what was another thing that we had? Oh, my daughter got in trouble in high school, and we took everything electronic she owned away. And she was this close to having the breaker turned off to her room, my husband said. She was grounded she had snuck out and got caught by the cops. She was like 15. She got caught literally the next house over. She almost made it home. He's like, "Where you live?" She's like, "Right there." He's like, "Oh, you almost made it home." It was like that for like 2 months. So yeah, we got creative too.
Yeah, I rarely spanked, but my girls knew if I reached that point, they had gone way too far. Because I used to do the stop, the warning, the timeout, the go to your room. And they didn't have TVs in their room. And this was in the days before tablets and smartphones because I'm ancient. And
That's probably
so
easier.
so they just literally had nothing much to do in their rooms.
Hmm.
So yeah, if
Oh,
it got past go to your room, that was time for the spanking, and nobody wanted that, including me.
what was funny is one time when they were really young, a lot younger, we took. They did have a TV and a VCR, I think, in their room or something. What was funny is we took all that away, and and they're 5 years apart. So she's like 6 or 7. He's early teens. Anyway, do you know what they got creative because they had nothing else to do? They literally out of paper, cardboard, and glue built a TV set, a VCR, and these VCR tapes to go in it with labels of movies on them. That is, I'm like, it was pretty awesome.
Wow.
But I'm like, okay, that was pretty cool. That is what they did with their timeout. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, I felt like an only parent because Tom was always gone.
I was an only parent too.
Oh, I had that happen when Chris was 17. Woo. Yeah, that happened. I think Tom was gone. And he tried that. He jumped up in my face and he got the paddle.
Mm.
That was the last time he got it, but he was 17.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do that again. He gets he has a little anger issues there sometimes. But
See, my mom was so extreme that I feel guilty, absolute guilty when I.
Me too. I mean, I told you when it was time,
So
we
it's
would
almost
go
like I
and
can't parent. I try to talk it out because I tried to put her in timeout when she was 3. This is when I knew my daughter could undo a padlock.
Oh no.
She kept hitting me and punching me and kicking me.
Ooh.
And I put her in the hallway and I said, "You will not hit me. I don't hit you. You don't hit me." And she screamed and threw a fit and she said, "I'm not in timeout." Ran to the front door and then unlocked it, opened the door and ran out into the middle of the street.
Oh my God.
I ran. I said, "We're talking about this." That's when I was like, you know what? And then, I mean, it was an all-day fight to where, you know what? You're not going in timeout. I'm going in timeout for the things I want to do to make you stop. And she watched me and then she broke down. She's like, "No, you're not. You're a good girl." And I was like, "Nope, because I want to hit you. And I'm going to sit in this chair until I think about my thoughts."
That was
And
good.
then she's like, "Okay, we'll sit together." And I was like, "I really want to be away from you." You made me that angry.
So you didn't give her the attention. You
Nope. I sat in the chair and like she just sat there. She would not get away from me. But it was like one of those things. I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh my gosh, today sucks." But at least she's not in the middle of the road.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
She can undo locks. Yay. Like,
one of my daughters.
The door.
There was none. No. I mean, it was like just the regular lock and then the
Well, I had to put
bolt.
one on.
Yeah, deadbolt.
The deadbolt.
Yeah, she unlocked the deadbolt. And I didn't know she could do that.
Oh.
And I'm chasing her out in the middle of the street and she's standing, she's like, "I'm not in timeout." And I'm just like, "You can talk about it." I'm negotiating with you.
Oh, and because we're military, my daughter could do a perfect push-up at 4 years old. If my husband got involved, that's what they were doing. And there was one time when Devin was older, and they talk about this all the time because he took them outside. They got in real trouble. I don't remember why. And they did the roll right, roll left. And they do this in the Army where you just roll in the grass and you roll around in the grass until you're hot and sweaty and you got grass stuck to you.
Wow.
They did that, or they did the push-ups. We didn't do the timeout that way. We did before even the daycare stuff. We did the push-ups or the sit-ups or something like that. And
Now, see, I thought I was being told I was overreacting when my daughter got into a fight when she was like 8, maybe, and I took her to the police station and made a cop
no,
talk
that's
to her.
great. That was awesome. No, that was so awesome.
I wanted them to give her a tour of the cells. They wouldn't do it.
Oh, so story. So my last job was at the police station on base. This base is really big. We had like over 10,000 reports in 1 year. It was wild. Anyway, my daughter was a teenager. So what it is my son was 5 years older and he went in the Navy and he was gone. It was just her. And I don't know what, we were at the PX. And the icing on the cake, she was wearing a hoodie with the police station logo on it. Okay. And I'll tell you what was on the back later. It has a whole different story about that. So she's wearing this white. Well, she got mad at us, and we went to the PX to shop, and she went over to the makeup department, and the guy that was watching her on camera said, "I've never seen anything like it." She literally looked at the camera and took her purse and just took all this makeup and just washed right into her.
Swept it into her. Oh my God.
Thinking she was going to punish us and embarrass us. And so we get called into the office, and I'm like, I called my friends at the PD, and I'm like, y'all need to come get her in the car. I want her in the back of the car and taken to the cell. They said we can't. MPI, Military Police Investigations, was on another call, and they're the only ones that could do that with a minor. I'm like, okay, fine. What she didn't know was when you do that on federal property, it is now a federal offense, not a misdemeanor.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of crap that happened because fees that she had to work off, reimbursements, community service, a lot of stuff. She was like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, you should have thought. She was about 14 or 15, I can't remember. And we had this book. So we're not allowed to talk about cases outside of work, but we had a book of pictures that we would get in cases that were, or we had what we called sworn statements that people would write out. There was one statement we had in there. This is an example. There was a fight. The sworn statement was, well, it was push, push, fight, fight, done. That was his sworn statement. Push, push, fight, fight, done. So Devin's sworn statement went in that book because she said, I did it on purpose. I was mad at my parents. They blah, 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 blah. But she said she did it on purpose. And so that went in the book. There was another picture. I got to tell you about this one. It was hilarious because before we didn't read everybody the report. We just showed them the picture. It was a toilet.
I'm listening. I'll be right back.
All right. It was a toilet with a wig in it and a cell phone and a plunger. And it was a domestic disturbance. And we're like, oh, well, if you go out, you're not going to look good and you're not going to be able to call anybody. Screw you. Because he took her wig and her phone and destroyed them. I was like,
wow.
Okay. Yeah, it was kind of interesting working at that job.
Yeah.
But looky loot. Oh yeah. Okay, now I get it. Yeah. If you're gonna get in trouble, you might as well make it worth it. Yeah. I never got in any trouble, and my mom was horrible. I'm not gonna go into details, but at one point I was like, I'm the best kid you could ever freaking ask for. I was in ROTC in high school, which means I couldn't get in any trouble or I would get kicked out. I followed all the rules. I never got in trouble. There's a lot of other stuff. Because at one point I was like, but my mom was still horrible. Thing was, so was her mom. That was just what she was used to. Bunch of hooligans here. I know, right? We are. I did get picked up for curfew one time. The problem was I was at a party in another town. I was supposed to be at a sleepover in our town. That's where I got in trouble. That's the only trouble I got into though when I was like 15. And all it was is we were staying over at the house. The party was over, and when we went out to get some soda, and when we came back, they had locked the door on us, locked us out. So we got picked up. My mom got called. She was like, "You're supposed to be in this town." But I'm like, so. And what was funny is Tom and I have known each other since we were 16. And when you're young, you're like, "Oh, we're gonna be the cool parents. We're gonna let our kids do anything." Not even close when they got born. Not even close.
My mom was so strict from junior high on. I had to make up my own little worksheet of who, what, where, when, why, and how. Had to have a phone number and everything to it. Everything filled out, a reason why I would even want to do anything. And for her to send it to her to show her and get approval. There was no partying.
Oh my goodness.
Nope.
I lived when we only had pay phones. And
So, same here.
Yeah. My issue was I never told my mom anything because she was, I don't know what the word is I want for her. All I knew is I didn't want to be like her, and I tried really hard not to. And it was better. But I had to not tell her anything personal because she would take it and use it against me when she was belittling me and screaming at me.
Yeah. I told my mom nothing, but I had to fill out that form.
Yeah.
If I wanted to do anything.
Yeah, I get that too. Luckily, in high school, my mom worked a second shift job. What?
I literally got grounded for 3 months because a friend called me at 9:01.
Oh, I had something like that happen.
My curfew was 9, and my friend should know what my curfew is. That's why it's my fault. It was 3 months of football games every Friday night, and I could not go. I asked every Friday night. She said, "No, you're grounded."
Oh gosh!
Trust me, I was screwed.
Yeah.
Screwed either way. And my mom would threaten because she worked with mental health as a record keeper and for the county, and the detention hall, or whatever it's called. What is it called? Juvenile hall.
Yeah.
She told us she will give us a tour.
Jeez.
If you step out of line. I never stepped out of line, but here I have everything in front of me of all the consequences. And I'm like, I'm good. And trust me, we have the leather belt. We got 3 to 10 spankings. Depending on the offense. And it's like the offense could be I went like this to get the smoke out of my face, and that's disrespectful.
Yeah. I never knew when my mother was going to get upset. It could be different every time. And she was mentally off. And in middle school and high school, she had got a divorce. And so she was a single mom. My freshman year, she was getting up the same time as me. I left every single day for the school bus crying because she would just ride me and belittle me. I wish you were never born. You're worthless. You'll never be anything.
That's how mine
That was it. And so she signed the papers for me to join the Army when I was 17. But this is the way she would express if she was upset. We literally she wasn't physical most of the time. It was verbal. We're in the car and she starts wailing on me. I'm about to leave for the Army. I had to take my basic training photos with a black eye.
Oh.
And I know it was because really down deep, she was upset that I was leaving. But, and same thing, like she was jealous of me for I went to 5 military balls and 2 proms. Because I went as an alumni for the military ball. And she would get the dress for me and do all the fun stuff. And then she would just flip and just ride me and be mean about the issue. And I know part of it, she never got to go to her prom. Things like that. I only knew this later on as an adult. I didn't know that then. My husband, Tom, so he wanted to come to my Army graduation, and my mom was so pissed that he was going and she wasn't, that she was throwing furniture out the back door at him and his parents. His mom is a very calm, wonderful woman, and she's throwing furniture out the back door. So they finally understood what I had been dealing with. So there was a point to what I was saying, to what you said. I can't remember what it was. I wonder if there was anything like that involved with why she was on you so much. Was her parents like, because my mom was exactly like her mom. Because I live with her mom too.
So my grandparents were, so my grandfather hated kids.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was in the Navy. He was in the boiler room on battleships in World War II. And yeah, so he would take a white glove to the rooms. And, yeah, like.
Now we did incorporate
or move one log at a time and move it, 3 feet over. That was a punishment. My antics. So he knew how to punish and creative, and how my mom raised me was how he raised her, but more of a free spirit. And I could not wear makeup. I got grounded for piercing my own ear. I was only allowed 2 holes. I got only grounded for 2 months for this one. But and then I realized the reason why I keep getting ear infection, I'm allergic to metal. So I'm like, I kind of punched myself, but thank you, Mom. Yeah, thank you, Mom. But no, like it was any fun that I could possibly have or take in my own control, she would immediately just swoop in and whatever. So we didn't have a relationship, but what I found out as an adult, she makes up her own stories in her own head of how I'm doing personally, how her granddaughter is. Oh, she's so great. She doesn't talk to her. So I'm like, what are you talking about? She has these, like, the parasocial relationships. She would go into chats and have, like, a farm animal community and be so nice. But she is the most bitter woman possible. And I didn't understand it. And I think she just held on to grudges, all the relationships, because she lost her mom in 1984. And she was never really close to her because she had a set of kids, three of them. We just found out she had a fourth out of wedlock but gave up to adoption. One of my first cousins, hey, I just met, and I was like, wait, what? No one knew until now, after my mom's already passed. And then met my grandfather and had my 1, 2, 3, 5, a total of 5 kids. One died like at 3 days old. And they didn't even tell my mom until she was like 7. And she didn't say it, her older sister said it.
Wow.
Like, took her over to the graveside. Yeah. That's her sister Linda. What's Sister Linda? And so secrets were like the biggest thing and never really talked out. And
that's the way my grandmother was.
Yes. But oh my gosh, my cat, my husband came in, my daughter's right there. She's laughing at our conversation.
Oh, I had a cat, like a tuxedo cat. His name was Buddy. I loved him.
This is Angel. She's not an
We
angel.
had a tuxedo cat named Oreo.
Buddy was a jungle cat. He didn't have a litter box. He would go to the door like a dog and want to go out. And across the street, now there's a little housing development over there, but it was a field. He wouldn't go far, but he would go across the street and play jungle cat. We would watch him playing jungle cat. He was awesome.
This one pushes her away and like, no, it's my turn. But
he was a talker.
Yeah, I don't know what my mom hated men. She's had so many, like, oh my gosh, boyfriends when we were younger, living boyfriends. She would meet them at a bar, take them home, lived with us for a few months.
I had a girl in my daycare whose mom was like that. It was so hard on them girls.
I had all the family, and then all of a sudden one day I didn't have any family. I found out when my daughter was 9. One of my aunts had passed away, and my uncles, who are her brothers, were talking about how my mom is like, you walk on eggshells with her.
Oh, my mom was like that.
You say the wrong thing and you're cut out. And I was like, you're cut out? And he's like, yeah, it was Margaret and Caroline, or her 2 older sisters. They were, like a good 12, 15 years older than her. And they had told her, you cannot do that when you have young children. You cannot date and have live-in boyfriends and have this repeat cycle. It's not safe for them. She didn't like that, so she cut everybody out. I had so many cousins, then nobody. So that's why I get, what are you looking at? But I get, yeah. So it's like, my personality is kind of like that too. I can easily cut someone out because I'm like, it's easier not to deal with it. But when it comes to family, it should matter more that you work through your differences instead of hold the grudge. I didn't like what you said, so therefore we don't. And that's, I still trying to figure out my mom with me grieving. She passed away in 2021. And the last few months were horrible. And my daughter had to experience that. But I'm glad, because I was like, if she ever picked up smoking, I would send her to my mom. But then I was thinking, that's corporal punishment. That's abuse. Hold on. I think I know what will happen. And literally the first day of us being in Texas with her, she didn't greet her for 24 hours.
It wasn't because I smoked.
No. I went because something was seriously wrong, and someone told me my mom's lying to me. about her health that it's bad. And to discover it myself, because I knew, and being in the medical field, if you keep falling, something's seriously wrong. And she could not get up, and she was on the ground for like 8 hours, 9 hours before someone came and helped her. And so I'm like, something's wrong. Yeah, she had stage 4 cancer, and 2 different types of cancer. They found out when we were there. So, and how my mom just dealt with it was pretending. She's like, I'll just get a second opinion. And I'm like, what? Like, how can you just pretend everything's like okay in your head? And I'm like, we just told you the worst possible news. We can treat one, but the other one's still gonna kill you. And she's like, oh. And then the doctor's like, well, it's great how she is. And I'm like, no. So she doesn't get depressed. She's fine. She's gonna live on. I'm like, reality. Where's reality? That's why I'm so blunt with my emotions, because I can move away from someone that I don't have really a connection with. I'll be like, okay, have a good life, bye.
I know what you mean there.
Yeah, but
if somebody wrongs me, I can cut them out, because I'm like, I'm not dealing with you anymore. My sister, I haven't talked to since 1999. Because she was a nutbag, and she treated my mom like crap, and she was terminal, screaming at a dying woman when I showed up. Long story, not going to go into all of it.
Yeah, no.
I knew at that moment I would never talk to her again.
My mom yelled at me the whole time I served her.
Yeah. She was dying and screaming at me.
I gave her all her pills, and the way I was vindicated in this moment is because when you grow up, you're like, I had a good childhood, right? It wasn't as bad as I make it out to be.
I've said that.
In that
I wasn't
moment,
physically abused.
The person was like, how can you be yelling at your daughter? She's the most graceful, gracious. I don't even remember the comments, because I was still serving her. I was still marking down what pill at what time, cleaning up, and I was 7 months post-op of my back surgery, my fusion. So I didn't have much upper strength, but I did whatever I could to help my mom, because I knew it was bad. Like,
me too.
3 months, but she just treated me so horribly and didn't talk to my daughter. And I'm just like, and then she would complain to me, why doesn't Caitlin come out and talk to me? I'm like, because you don't talk to her. You don't even say hi.
Like, I'm barking at.
And she hears you yell out. That's the other thing I could not say, is that she hears you yell at me all the time. She doesn't want to be around that. I didn't even want to be around that. That's why I can walk away while my mom is still yelling. And she'll be still yelling like someone's in the room. All I have to do is slightly shut the door and be like, whoa, like, I'm good. I'm just used to it. My mom's yelling. Okay, that's normal.
I wanted to do that, what Becky just said. So that was the turmoil as a parent. I didn't want to be my mother. And I wanted to give them everything. And I realize now that we did too much. We've had a lot of issues with them as adults, because we wanted them involved and talking about everything, because it was just us. We had no family or friends. It was just the 4 of us. And I realize now we thought we were too strict, and I realized in some ways we weren't strict enough. In a lot of ways, I would give in a lot when we grounded.
Yeah. That's why now I just talk it out, or it's almost like empty threat. Like, you're gonna have a consequence, and it's just like, I'm just like, But
I
she
wish I'd have done that
knows.
more
I
with
know,
my
she's
kids.
like, yeah. I'm gonna get off, guys. Everybody has been in bed. I even have this one. Everyone has gotten into bed and they're like,
All right.
excuse me, it's late.
I know. It's my late night chat for the night out.
I know my
I get
husband
it.
even looked at me. He's like, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for talking to me.
You
I
too,
hope you
Journey.
feel better, Kim.
Well,
Okay.
you said a lot of things that helped me too, because
I'm
you
glad.
dealt with similar issues, and
Yeah.
this community, you don't understand that if you, in my life, my friends have been so toxic and horrible that I didn't want anybody in my life.
And that's how I feel.
And
that's why I'm like, this parasocial thing, I'm not getting involved. Yeah.
And Scooter Mom and other people, even though we don't hang out, has helped me so much. I was 55 years old before I could say I went through a trauma. It took this community talking and talking about what they've been through that helped me heal and understand. Other than the Scientology stuff.
Yeah.
It's completely separate from that.
Yeah.
This community is, made up. We have some bad apples that aren't here for the right reasons. We know that. But for 90% has been through similar situations. And I had never had that before.
Same. And that's why when I hear a story that sounds so similar or what I've been through, it's like I want you to know that I hear you and you're not alone, and we're in our different parts of that journey.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, whether we're going through the same thing or hey, I've passed that part, but I can easily go back into that thinking of like, oh my gosh, why am I this way? Why does my body react this way? Why can't I do this? I feel like we're all superheroes in our own right. We are stronger when we don't really think about it, but it does build up and get to us.
Yep.
And that's when I think talking about it gives us more strength because one, we're not alone, and two, other people have had similar experiences that they can say, hey, like the serapeptics. I'm not saying don't take it, but I'm just like, hey, look into it. And if it's something that you want to try or don't, it's not going to affect me.
I've learned so much.
Hey.
I've learned so much from you guys and people in chat. I'm always learning stuff. It doesn't matter what the subject is.
Yeah.
If I was doing this on my own, I wouldn't have learned the things that I've learned. And that's what keeps me coming back to doing things like this and the chat. I think they call it a parasocial relationship. Regardless, I was isolated.
Right.
Yeah.
13 plus years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dealing with this by myself and not knowing how to deal with it. And just in the last year and a half, having this channel and talking to people like you, Scooter Mom, and you, Journey, and so many other people, has helped me so much. I went in a mental hospital twice for a week or more because I didn't know how to handle this.
Yeah. It's devastating when you get, it's like a life sentence of some sort of thing that you now have to cope with or just
Forever.
and it changes everything. It changes how you're thinking, how you're doing, what your body is doing. What is it doing? Because I've literally held a cup and just dropped it.
Oh
And
my
my
God,
hand
I
is
know.
still in that position. And my husband was
Oh.
going slower. He's like, "You good?" No, my hand's numb.
The first major thing that happened, I had an old style computer. It's really heavy. I was holding it like this, and my arms wigged out, and I almost hit myself in the face with it. I was just walking, and my arms went like this. I almost hit myself in the face. Just, and then I'll cry out, and my husband's like, "Voodoo pain." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me to say anything. So I have all this pain and wigging out of my body that I don't even talk about, because until it gets to a certain point that Tom doesn't always get. But hearing you guys talk about what you've been through and it be so similar has helped me so much. Because I don't have
I'm
family
glad.
or friends down here because of the military.
Yeah. Mine is I don't trust many people.
That happened too. If you watch that
Yeah.
toxic friend thing, I quit having friends in the 90s because I met this toxic army wife that scared the bejesus out of me. And it wasn't till my last job, I went shopping with a couple of girls from work, and my daughter said, "Oh my God, my mom has friends." Because I wouldn't have them. I was like, my husband's my best friend. He's known me since I was 16. I don't need anybody else. Yeah. My issue is I keep it in until I can, and then I lose it.
And that's how I am with my anger.
Yeah, I have anger.
Yep.
That's why when somebody says, "You're so nice," I laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
Well, that's why everyone's like, "Oh, Journey's so sweet." I'm like,
you have no idea.
I don't want to lie to people, but
I think I lost it on something that was very trivial, but yeah. No, I hold it in too, and that's when I explode. But thankfully, my husband and we've known each other. We've been together since 17 and 18. And
same.
And we've had to grow up, and because his family is polar opposite of mine. What do you need, sweetheart? Okay. She's listening. This is how she learns, and this is why I rather talk her ear off than discipline her, because I'm like,
I was the same way with my daughter, and that didn't work out sometimes. Because you know what, my whole life I wanted to have a daughter because I wanted to do the opposite of what my mom did.
I wanted a big family. I wanted 5 kids, and they were all going to be different. But when my daughter was born, there was no maternal instinct. It didn't come. And I waited. And I'm like, something's going to come over with me, and I'm just going to do it all motherly love and nope. It just became a task. Okay, we're going to do a baby. Okay, we're going to talk this out. Okay, let's wash your hair. Let's do this. But it was not a connection. It was literally like, all right, now we put on my pajamas. Now we do this. Okay, bedtime. It's like, let me read you a book, or let me sing to you, and then lights out, go to bed. Oh, that's the love. And when I visited my family in Michigan, they totally massage, calm you down behind the ear. And I was like, behind the ear? And they're like, because my daughter just would be crying and crying and crying, I'm just holding her. And they're like, you're not soothing her. I'm holding her, but you're not soothing her. And I'm just like, how the hell do you soothe her? And it just, because I thought it would just all of a sudden, a beam of light, you're a mother. Nope. And I realized I don't have the love part. And then when she showed signs of severe generalized anxiety disorder,
That's what I have.
and parts of autism, autistic behavior is coming out way more, but she used to eat by color. I would put out snacks and she had to eat one before they go into the next, and I even experimented. I put a different color down before that she went to the next. She had to spit it out and take it. So I was like, I've never had one of you before. I've never met.
Mhm.
So I wanted to understand her world. That's the only thing that changed my perspective on motherhood, on being in her world. She's not in mine. And
Yeah.
and it's like, she's the love of my life. That's why we cannot fight more than an hour. Like, we're not mad at each other for it. I'm just like, I love you. I love our differences. I don't care how mad you make me. So, but yeah.
I think God made me have kids when I wasn't planning to,
Same.
on purpose. Because if I had been left to my own devices, I had plans to go in the military. I didn't care about having kids and all of that because of what I had gone through.
I thought I could do it totally different and make my life happier. Like, the people, my kids will make me happy, not angry. Not, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Never have to say, I wish you were never born. Because who would say that to someone that you have this deep connection with?
You wanted to break the cycle.
Yeah.
Like, because I lived with my mom and her mom in middle school. They were the same. And I was like, I don't want to be like that.
Right.
That's breaking the cycle. And that's the best thing you can ever do.
Well, I just don't know how you treat people like that.
Me too.
Or
How do
the
you look at
person
your
that you would
child and say,
"Fuck you."
I hate you, I wish you were never born? How do you say
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I know. And then when my brother and I brought it up to her, my brother and I
never said that.
Oh yeah, that sounds horrible. I would never say something like that.
So I never got all I wanted was an apology.
I just wanted to, like, it got worse when my mom was dying, but
yeah.
she couldn't say I love you.
Oh yeah.
Asked her
she
if
was
she
in the
loved
hospital in bed dying and screaming at me. The lady that was working her case said, "Look, we need to stop doing this." I'm like,
yeah.
I closed my business to go up there and help her, and she's like, "You have an alternative agenda to come up here." I'm like, really? Not really.
The last time I saw her awake, she had chose my brother to take care of me, who lived 30 minutes away. I lived in California, thousands of miles away. She lived in Texas.
My sister was living with her and wouldn't help her.
Oh, well, that's the thing. He wasn't helping her. They didn't want anything to do with each other until I heard, hey, and I hadn't seen him for 19 years or talked to him. I pressed charges. I was done. But he but yeah, no, she said, I need Jacob. I need him. And here I'm in front of her. And my whole family's, and and I set up all of hospice, all the meds, met with the nurses, everything. And I'm sitting there going, I'm leaving. I'm getting the hell out of Texas. Because that night before, I was stuck on the side of a country road, hiding behind a tree, thinking my brother was going to come after me because I couldn't take my mom's truck to go stay at a hotel because we had a big fallout. Because it just Yeah, the details. He was counting her calories because she's stationary. And then she couldn't have a banana because it went with the smoothie. And then I realized every food is accounted for, and I could not just go in to the kitchen and get something to eat.
I wish my sister would have been that.
I was all,
she
wait, what?
she didn't do shit.
Well, she wanted a banana, and he said no.
When
And I flat out said, "You can have a freaking banana." And he's like, no, she can't. That goes into a smoothie. Then she can have my freaking banana. You don't want a smoothie? Like, this is the whole conversation. And I blew up on it. You can't count her calories. And I knew if she's hungry, feed her. Because there's going to be a time where she's not going to eat. And she's going to deteriorate. She's already deteriorated. Because he said her leg was fat. Her leg was like all the cancer. Just, dripping inside. So I'm like, he has no idea. No idea. And he wants to control. And so when I left that night and my husband's like trying to get me out of East Texas.
Oh, yeah, I've been to East
There's
Texas.
no planes. There's no nothing. I had to take a $280 cab ride to Houston.
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
Get the hell out. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And I had 300 and I gave her the whole thing. It's like, I would pay you more, but I seriously just need to leave. Shit. Okay.
Ouch.
Oh, my God. I will explain that in a minute. I have to pee. Oh, my God. My foot grabbed the cord.
My get the hell out of Texas has shocked her. Being in Texas. Go.
Oh.
No. No, I just, yeah. That was the last time I saw her awake, is that we had a meeting where to put the do not a DNR
Resuscitate. Yeah.
yeah poster on the back in case paramedics came and stuff. And she, at least they knew. And then I left and got into the cab and drove all the way to Houston.
Yeah.
Several hours away to get home. And I was crying because I knew that was the last time. The next time I saw her, she was comatose.
Yeah.
And died that same day. I came at like 7:30, 8 a.m. and she died at 3 p.m.
Wow.
So, and then the nurse was like, she waited for both of you to be here. And I'm like, she didn't even want both of us in her life. Like in my head, I'm like, she only wanted him. And she got him. I'm only doing what I need to do because I will regret it, because I want to be the best daughter I can be. I don't know why I'm still living up to an expectation that's never going to be met. But that's what I told my daughter. I was like, whatever you do, I'll have your back. But trust me, if you commit a crime or some sort of thing, I'll be like, you have to pay the price.
Yep.
Yeah, it's your punishment. I am not saving you. Your actions mean something. Your words mean something. And
exactly.
She learned it real quick at 12 with my mom. I'm like, see? Yeah, things are the people. And then, so I'm thankful for this community as well. I don't go into many chats and I have no clue who they're complaining about, because I don't go in many places. I just don't. So that's why I'm like, I'm on my raft doing my own thing, because I've seen not just crazy, I've seen the manipulation in real life
Yeah.
personally with my mom. So Kim, I don't know if you heard, but the next
I couldn't.
okay.
Just
Next
some
time
of
I
it.
saw my mom, she was comatose, and then the nurse was
I
like,
went through that
she
too.
waited for both of you to be here. And in my mind, I'm like, she didn't want both of us to be in her real life anymore.
My mom waited for
What's
my
she waiting for?
husband to get there. She liked him so much. She died the day after he was in Bosnia in 99 when literally he told me later they shot down a plane that was about to bomb their base. And so I called the Red Cross and I said, I just want to have more than a 15-minute phone call. Back then, that's all you got was a 15-minute phone call with your soldier husband. Next thing I heard is the Red Cross bought him a plane ticket and he was coming home because it was an immediate family member. And they talked to hospice and they said she was on her last, probably maybe one day. He showed up and she passed hours later.
Yeah. I showed up like at 7:30.
She was in that because she had cancer. She was in that toxic coma where you're just out of it, which is I'm glad.
Well, it went to her brain. They were saying that it was everywhere.
Okay.
They specified which, and they were like, it's ready to go to your brain. So there's a 5-finger link, like thing, claw. It's ready to enter your brain. And that's why there was only a 3-month. And I was like, yep. And then by the end of my visit with her, a lot of awake, it went to her tailbone, her thyroid, everywhere. So, it was in her stomach, everywhere, her lungs. Oh, just
Starting her lungs and breast.
Same thing with my mom. She had lung cancer and she smoked a lot, but they said that wasn't they don't know where it came from. And it eventually went all the way to her liver.
Yeah.
And by the time she fought it, this is my problem with my sister, since you talk about yours. My sister came down here because she had used up everybody up in Ohio. When we found out she was dying, my sister, only fist fight I've ever been in, which I probably didn't land anything because she's 6 foot tall and I'm 5'2". And she said, I don't give an F that her mom was dying. So anyway, my sister got in a bunch of legal trouble down here. And my mom, this is what you were saying was favoring one child. And I think it was because my mom was married and divorced 4 times. We had different dads. My mom hated my dad and loved her dad. That's my only idea of why. So my mom had never, since I had been married, ever traveled to my home to see my house, to see my life, to see my kids, nothing. But when my sister got in legal trouble the second time, she literally drove down here with an oxygen tank in a pickup truck with only the front seat with somebody driving her to pick up my sister to take her back home to get her out of here. And then my mom had fought a 6-month diagnosis for 1.5 years. And you know, when you're fighting cancer and going through chemotherapy, being peaceful and calm is a big deal. And she gets up there and my mom went downhill from the stress. Because she didn't help her. When I got there, my mom called me on Mother's Day bawling because things were so bad. I get there, she's taking her meds wrong, so she's in a lot of pain because she couldn't keep track. Her mind couldn't keep track. She couldn't even hold a glass of water. So my grandmother down the road, 2 miles, my grandmother and my mom lived 2.5 miles apart. I put 168 miles on my car in 2 weeks, going back and forth. But she had my kids. My mom couldn't handle the kids. That's how stressed it would make her. So I'm getting up every half hour to hour with alarms, giving her the right meds. And so after a couple days, my sister walks in and I said, hey, can you sit with mom for 10 minutes so I can take a shower? She said, no, I'm busy, and went down to the basement where her bedroom was and went to sleep. That was what I was dealing with. I closed my daycare. I gave him notice. I gave him like 3 weeks. And after my mom passed, I did other things. Ended up going back to daycare, and a lot of my moms came back because I just couldn't find a job that I could deal with after daycare. I really liked it. I ran it like a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a school teacher, but with Tom in the Army, I couldn't go to college like that. Okay, Scooter Mom. I hope you're feeling better. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
The thing is, I have the back of my kids too. Here's the problem with my kids that I don't understand. They want to do this crap on their own and wait till it's a disaster before they call me. And then I'm like, well, you could have done it this way and it wouldn't have been a disaster. They won't talk to me, and I don't understand why. I've always given them as best advice as possible. Oh, I get it, Scooter Mom. I get it. I've been there. A couple days ago, my left leg from the hip down was just so much tingling pain, and I couldn't understand why. So I get what you're going through.
Yeah. It's where I lay down most of the time.
Yeah. Well, that's why Scooter Mom left. She's having issues with her leg. Yeah. So, I mean, we all get it. You know, and that we were talking about that earlier. That's what helps so much is to find people going through similar situations. And like I said, I had a couple of books I got from Barnes and Noble back in 2010. Actually, I was diagnosed a year later, 2011. But when you read that stuff, it's already out of date by the time they published it and everything. But the key part of it was I read a book by a doctor who had fibromyalgia, and she went through medical school and wouldn't tell anybody she had it because it was a joke.
Yeah.
But I got lucky so I got diagnosed in 2011. In 2012, I found a doctor at a pain management clinic that had written a paper on fibromyalgia, and he was my angel. Oh my God. Because I can't go into the whole story. It's so long. But the reason I have fibro is because a doctor messed up my meds, which shocked my system. And I got traumatic fibromyalgia overnight within 3 days. So I didn't trust doctors. And so he was great. But about 3 years ago, he disappeared. I think the clinic he was at was treating him badly, which I could see. They opened up all these other offices all over Texas, and he was flying around. And a doctor doesn't want to be flying all over Texas to go to different offices, they're never home. All they would say was he left for a family emergency. I think that's what it was. But we had already spent years together figuring out the right treatment and the right meds, and he listened, and he was so awesome. So awesome. And so now I can tell people this is what we need to do. Advocating for yourself is so hard, especially when doctors just ignore you. And when I went in the ER, and a lot of people know this, so I've talked about it, I was admitted as a psych patient because I had an ER doctor come in who just came on shift, said, my daughter said they were going to release me. And my daughter looked at her like she had 3 years. My mom can't even move. And she had me sit up, and my body would spasm in a way you can't fake. You can't fake that. And she said, "Why your CAT scan's clear, and I've never seen symptoms like this, so it must be psych." It took a year to get diagnosed properly. So my the roundabout Ray was talking to you and other people has helped so much because I was alone for so many years.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you guys.
Thank you for sharing your story, and we can have it resonate with us too.
Me too. And when we did the fibro chronic pain, we had somebody in the chat who emailed me and was talking in chat. She's 70 years old, and she was like, I didn't know what was wrong with me. Nobody could figure out what was wrong with me, and this sounds like what's wrong with me. One person, if we helped one person, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Because we know what it's like to be ignored.
Yeah.
And I know we'll probably never meet each other, but the relationships that we've made has been really important. What's funny though, I was in a YouTube community before this, Popcorn Planet, and I have actually gone to 3 meetups. I flew to Vegas. I was already visiting my daughter in Southern California when they did one, and then there was one in Houston we drove to. And it wasn't even to meet the YouTube creators. I met people from the chat that I had talked to for like a year. And I met those people, and it was so fun and so awesome. And that's why some of the creators, like even Aaron, has said, I don't understand a meetup. I said, you don't understand how important a meetup can be. You know, just when they were scheduling something at that bar, people were, or even the Clearwater stuff they're doing, people were driving in and coming in from far away. And some of the creators don't understand that that's a big deal when you have something scheduled. And I've been wanting to do that. I've been, we've had people travel. We had people come here to Austin. We've had people go to, and I want to create or try to create some meetups. And it's not even so much to meet the creators as to meet other people in the chat like you and Scooter Mom, and if we could ever do anything like that. But there was one, it was funny because you know how we talk about, we see a chat name and we guess if they're male or female.
Mm-hmm.
I met somebody in Burbank when we met there who I thought was a woman, and it was this young man. It was hilarious. Not what I expected at all. But it was a lot of fun. And that's why I like doing these where people can come in, because we get to meet each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Other than just over there, I can only do just the chat. And then, but this has been so much fun. And that's why I do the late night chats. It's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And tonight may not have been fun, but it was informative and helpful in a lot of ways. And I appreciate
it. Well, it was healing for, whether it's just the chat, but definitely you, to know that you're not alone.
Yeah, it does help.
Yeah.
Because I am very much alone. My kids have moved away. My son's in school in Dallas. My daughter moved to California with my grandkids. My husband, who sleep all day or gone at work. Literally, I talk to my dogs all day. And so this last year and 2 years, and really since I started my channel, that's where this kind of stuff started, has really helped me. And that was, for me to even put it in the chat the title the way I did, was a lot. Because I don't like to bring this kind of energy to the channel or the chat. I try to keep things as upbeat as possible. But it's been wearing me down for a couple of months. And you guys have really helped me a lot to feel so much better.
Yeah. I think it just goes to show you how many different people there are, different perceptions and everything. There are people here on Earth that don't see the significance of human connection, especially if they have not gone through empty nest syndrome or maybe a divorce, but they still have a social life. Like, dating or you know, guy friend, especially, and I don't mean to be sexist, like a guy versus a girl, but the general population who are single and our age, going to the bar or going to, you know, hey, the gym or this, and they have a routine still. So it's, they still have human connection. It's just on YouTube and stuff. There are people that are, I don't go out. I don't even like being in a car after 6 p.m. I'm like, I need to be home.
I'm similar. I'm similar in many ways. I hate to go out.
Right.
I really do. I hate, for me, that's why this last year has been so, I don't even know what the word is I want. It got me out of my shell, my comfort zone, out of the house in so many ways.
Yeah.
I've spent 13, 14 years at home. Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Before going to Austin, that was me. I got groceries delivered. I shopped online. I never went anywhere. And then they put the implant in my back. I couldn't even sit up. That didn't fix all the other stuff, but it helped a significant amount of pain. And so I get what you're going through, Scooter Mom, still not being able to get out. And
Right. And there are a lot of people, and I think that's why a lot of people are in the chats or taking sides or doing this.
me too. Oh my God, me too.
And then there's the others that are like us that are like, nope, stay out of the drama, but I still want to connect with people. I still want to get news updates on what's going on, positive or negative, but still kind of staying in our own lane, but wanting to be proactive. There's all different types of people in this world.
Oh my gosh, I know.
There has to be tolerance for some, some things.
I did that.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, I did that for the longest time. I wanted everybody to get along, but I finally spoke out to a point. I don't know if you remember, but I finally did have to speak out a little bit because it had gotten to a point. And then we realized there were so many people that felt the same way as me. We thought if we let it go, it would go away and get better. And it didn't.
No. And for me, if you find the people that you connect with the most, go for it. Just don't hate on a separate group. But there are gonna be those people. There's so many layers.
Right.
I can't be in it all. I can't be up to date on who's talking to who.
And that
someone's not talking to me because I didn't know they weren't talking to them.
Right. There's too many channels and too many people.
Yeah.
To keep track.
And they don't understand me. I tolerate them for whatever they say or do is up to them.
Right.
I don't
have to lose my shit because I disagree.
Nope.
I can just go, all right, I'll move on. I'm good.
And that's why I wish those people that don't care to talk to me anymore, well, I don't hate you. I feel sad for you that you feel like I'm sitting on a bench with somebody else. I'm here alone, but thank you.
I know.
I'm not fueling the fire. I'm not agreeing with someone's hate. I'm not. So I don't know what you mean by I'm sitting with someone.
The biggest wrong that I want to change is just because you're in somebody's chat doesn't mean you agree with everything they've ever said or done.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for me that I would like to see people change. I don't know if they will, but and I think most of us, I've called us before the adults in the room. the adults in the room know that not, yeah, yeah. And that's the judgmental side that we've had to deal with. And you know what? I decided when I spoke out that I was okay to deal with that. That I knew I would get some flack. I knew people would be upset with me. And that's okay. You know, if that's the way they want to do it. But I think here's what I've said all along. 95% of the people that are in the chat or have channels are similar, or where we are. And you're going to always have that small group that has issues or causes problems. And I knew that going in. I knew when I created this channel, you know, I knew what to expect. And that's why it doesn't bother me that much. But other people aren't at the same level in life or understanding that some of us are. And I'm okay with that too. But what I want to get out to people is screaming at someone, chat, whatever, email, in person, whatever, will never get someone to change their mind. Will never get someone to see your point of view.
Right. And that's what I feel, because I've never was an activist before, a protester.
Me neither.
But that's why I never joined, because even though I have a voice, me yelling at someone or even telling them my point of view, just talking out to them, it's like handing them the way to happiness, and all of a sudden crime is free. Or, you know, it's crime free. Like, you know, no, it doesn't work that way. Just because I said my opinion does not mean that person had an epiphany
Right.
and agreed with me.
Right.
It doesn't. Not even a conversation or anything, but you had a human connection. And that's why I watch people. I'm a people watcher for human behavior and everything. Be like, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I totally agree with you. We're all different. We're all not going to agree. And for those people that think you completely align yourself with somebody, that's really wrong.
If that's what you want to do, go do that. But don't, you know, go after those that don't want to agree with you. That's my only issue is, you know.
Yeah. Or I have to stop watching this person.
Right.
Or stop
they
doing
did something
this.
wrong or said something wrong.
Yeah, and I'm not playing that game. I'm not. I'm too
Okay.
old. I'm too old for that. I have there's nothing here, girl. But
mine are chill, but to be honest, it's amazing.
My old man is eating, so if you hear him, and she's protecting the bedroom for some reason. But
this one right here, he's sleeping right here. He barks at mouse hearts.
But yeah, no, I just think we're all different, and there's all different colors.
And I like that.
Flavors of life.
I learned from so many different people.
Yep.
Because I was willing
to get different cultures, you're going to get different people, and if you don't want to be around them, just keep scrolling.
I know. It's so easy. Just
like who you like, don't like who you don't.
Well, I love Scooter Mom's outro. Listen to who you want to listen to. I love that.
Yep.
Okay, so Bill. Oh, the cadres. Okay. Oh, I know. I do so much. I mean, I learned so much from other people that, you know, have taught me so much.
And that's what's so strange is that even in 2025, diversity, and you talk about how many people have their own thing going on, but then all of a sudden tolerance and acceptance is limited. And I'm just like, that's backwards, man. Like
'Cause,
now,
I mean, this community. That's why I like this community. We do have those people, but it's really very minute to the amount of people
yes,
that are drawn to this community. This community, so many people like us have been through some sort of trauma.
yeah,
And so they resonate with the message and what we're trying to do. Either, helping those that are trapped in Scientology. That's a big thing compared to what we've gone through. That's a big thing.
yeah.
But on our way to do that, we have these kind of discussions,
Mm-hmm.
with each other.
Yeah, because life happens. That's the other thing. Life is not put on hold just because you're advocating for the abuses of Scientology and people
True.
human trafficked, cover-ups, all different types of abuses, elder, financial, coercion, family disconnection. I mean, the list goes on about what is happening with
Yeah.
that business. But life still happens to each and every one of us. And that's why I wanted to let you know that you come first and that it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to take a step back and reassess and figure out how things will go for the next day, week, hour, whatever you need.
Mm-hmm. And I thank you guys for that. I'm not one of those that does things for attention. There are people that do. I put the title out there. I was just trying to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm not normally like that. As far as I try to keep my channel upbeat and not get too serious, except for the subject matter we're dealing with.
Yeah.
But I almost didn't come on tonight, and I'm feeling a certain way about my channel, how my channel is going. And that was honest. That's exactly how I felt. Not sure what I should do. I'm reading my title. And all of this had to do with it. Just so many different layers,
Yeah.
And you guys helped me a lot to understand,
Sure.
to help me accept that I need to take care of me. No one's ever told me that. Not even therapists. I have a therapist that fell asleep on me. But so I went many, many years, 20 something years, raising my family, and I didn't know what self-care was. Still really don't. I need to do it more. I'm still trying to do what's expected of me. I want to do more. I really do. So, but anyway, my point was, you guys have helped me a lot tonight. I don't know if that's what I wanted. I just wanted to be honest about how I was feeling.
Yeah.
Because I've been feeling this way for a while. Oh, Scooter Mom. And see, I keep saying my channel is about protesting. When I don't protest, people unsubscribe. Because that's what my basis of my channel is. But I also have noticed, my subs have dwindled, but my chat has stayed similar
Mm-hmm.
or the same. So I've never really cared about subscribers. I've never really cared about making money or any of that. What for me, this is about a lot of, we get a lot of eyes on it. The chat helps me go protest. If I went out there by myself without the camera or the chat, I don't know if I could have sustained this. I don't know if I could stand there on the sidewalk all by myself. So having the chat support me and talk with me while I'm out there is I think, I don't even know the word, is what helps me keep going.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, yeah, I want to help people. Yeah, I want to educate people. I want the people inside to know. And I say that all the time. But there's a good 50% is people being in the chat and helping me, knowing that I'm not standing out there by myself.
Right.
And that's why I try, if I got some channel out here doing something that's got 50 or 100,000 subscribers, and I got somebody over here that's got 30 people in their chat, I'm going to go there. Because those people are working, doing the work without a lot of, what's the word I want?
Support.
Not support, what you get out of something. Rewards.
Oh, okay.
Without a lot of rewards. Saint Papa Smurf. But yeah. So maybe in a little bit I was looking for some help. Why else would I put that out there? But I didn't expect this much help, and I thank you so much.
You're
Thank
very
you,
welcome.
and
Of course.
Mom and everybody else that's been in here. You've really helped me a lot. Alone, it's hard to do alone.
Yeah. No, it is.
You know what? You said you needed to go a long time ago,
I did.
but I appreciate you saying it. Thank you.
Well, I do need to go because my legs are numb.
Okay. I get that. I know.
They can go even better. That's why I'm like, hi. I got a puppy.
Look at the puppy. I love fur babies so much.
You, where'd you go?
We had a little family of dogs come. We had to put in our yard. They escaped. And I was like, I'll keep them all. There was a mommy, a daddy, and 3 puppies.
Oh, wow.
They were from a couple doors down. I was going to work when they came around the corner. I woke Tom up and said, hey, I put him in the yard. I said, call the PD and find out who they belong to. I was ready to take all of them. I love fur babies. If I had land, I would have so many animals.
Yeah.
They're just so odd. We don't deserve dogs and cats. We just don't. I even had chickens, and they were sweet. All right. I'm going to let you go, Journey. You need to go. Your legs are numb.
No. But I feel bad because...
Okay. You're good now. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me on, and I'm so glad I get to talk with you because I'm normally not up this late. Yeah, I'm in bed doing my own thing, and then I go to bed early.
Yeah. Good for you.
It's good talking with you and everything. So.
Right. No, I've watched a few videos about your cat, Scooter Mom. I don't know if I can handle a parkour kitty. She has a Bengal cat. All right. Good night, everyone. Good night, Journey.
Night. Bye.
Oh, thanks for dropping in, Papa Smurf. Thank you guys so much. I got a lot out of this, and I appreciate your time. Oh, thank you. I love you too, Scooter Mom. You guys, you and someone have been so much of a support. Good night, everyone. Good night. We'll see you later. Hopefully, I might be out here soon. Just keep your eyes out. I try not to say when because of, they try to watch me. Never know. Good night, all. Have a good weekend. Good night, Seal Bill.